Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Glorious as it is, a Redemption Thursday edition of the program. Great to have you along. I'm Jeff. As I just said, that guy's Tom. He produces the program. Matthew is a director. He's a hoity-toity director over there on YouTube. Watch the show being done on YouTube, performed, that is, ESPN Tallahassee. Hey, check us out online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Go there to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do miss something, remember we got you covered all 3 hours. Posted on iTunes and in our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the program. That's a good thing. So you'll catch up at your leisure. Email the show if you want, jcs at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. Thanks for following along there. WTSM app for your mobile devices. Redemption Thursday is back, and the wagers are as follows. There's one in there they're not going to like.
Redemption Thursday is back, and the wagers are as follows. You know, I thought I'd never hear that somewhere around May.
Never again, right?
Somewhere around May, it just felt like it was never coming back.
Hey, so I should probably do this. We gotta start this because we do continue to garner new listeners from all over the world. But in particular, new listeners here in the Southeast region and in Tallahassee, and maybe not everybody understands the deal. It's the honor system. I can't really, back in the day, we would take up the whole show, all 3 hours, taking calls and conducting wagers, and it just didn't flow. It wasn't a real radio show as much as it was you guys driving down the road listening to somebody take calls on bets. Which, okay, I would rather enjoy that, but I'm a degenerate gambler. I got issues. I could listen to guys talk wagering all day long, and I go, ooh, that's a good point. And we have fun with it. But most people don't want that for their entertainment dollar. So instead, I post the games, and then they're on Facebook for you, ESPN Tallahassee on Facebook. And you see the games, and you decide, oh, no, I don't agree with that at all, Jeff. You are insane. That is just wrong. I'm going to take Texas. They're going to kill Maryland. And you yell at me, and you tell me I'm wrong, and then in the end you go, damn it, he wasn't wrong. But we wager non-perishable food items. We do it for charity because I can't get away with betting you money on the air. The FCC frowns upon that, and this helps curb my instinct to want to take advantage of people in a wagering setting. I don't mean that on the whole. I just mean in a wagering setting.
In fact, it turns it on its head, and it completely changes the equation because you're helping people through wagering.
You're damn right, but we still work in the wagering, and that's the whole thing. If I lose, I keep a running tally. If you lose, I'd ask that you do the same. You don't have to pay up all at once. If you take Colorado, for example, today, and you say, Jeff, I think Colorado's a good football team, and they're going to beat Colorado State by more than 4, I think you're wrong, Jeff. I'm doing that. And I'm going to bet you a can of spinach. So, all right, well, that's fine. And if I win that wager, then you owe me a can of spinach. But it's not to me. It's to wherever it is you want to drop it off. Could be a food bank. Could be a homeless shelter. Could be a shelter for abused women. It could be any number of things that you deem not only of value, but to be something you want to be a part of, something you want to contribute to. And I don't pick the charities. You do. And then I pick my own when I owe you guys. So it's an honor system sort of deal, and usually I let it kind of pile up to where if I'm getting my ass kicked by somebody and I'm down 7 cans of food or cereal or whatever it might be, then I go, well, it's probably about time to drop some stuff off, and I grab a bunch of groceries, in particular with those items, and maybe throw in a few others because we all like to do that, right? And I drop it off somewhere, and I have my charities. There are places that I like to contribute to, just as you guys do. And that's how it works. We're betting non-perishable food items. Hell, some people like to bet entire turkeys. They wait till Thanksgiving, and they'll bet me 2, 3, 4 turkeys, and they drop it off at the homeless shelter or wherever they want to drop that off at. And that's great. And we all help each other out in our community, and we make this a better community, and we give people opportunities who are otherwise downtrodden, and that's awesome. So it's a simple procedure, and we've been doing it for almost 20 years, and it's fun. And these are the games this week. I did take Colorado State +4 over Colorado, Tom. I think Colorado has a very good football coach, but I'm not sure they've replenished the talent on that roster just yet. They're winning a lot of the 50-50 games, whereas they used to not do that. And that's a sign that they are well coached. But it doesn't mean they're necessarily out-athleting anybody. And I like this Colorado State team. I like what Bobo's doing.
Dare I say wrong teams favored? Is that where you're leaning?
I am. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think Colorado State wins the game. They're getting 4 points. Let's keep it rolling. Louisville likes to run up the score on hapless foes. That included us last year, sadly. -24.5 against Purdue. I gave them all those 24.5 points. Gave it up.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Boom. Maryland +18.5 against Texas. I'm sure Tom Herman's going to do a fine job at Texas, and he'll get them righted in no time. Maryland's a better team than they were a year ago. They'll keep that game fairly interesting. Texas fans will get worried and pissed off, and I understand their worry and anger because it's been a while since Texas was any good. But they'll win the game, will Texas, but not by more than 18.5. Let's go Terps.
I don't know about all this
Well,
talk.
then come on, get your wager on.
Okay.
Michigan's given 3.5 against Florida, Tom. Sorry, you can't stop progress. Got to keep going. Michigan's
That's
given
correct.
3.5 against Florida, and I'm going to give it. I wouldn't have given those points. I would have taken Florida because you and I disagree on this game, but now the 10 people have been suspended, and I think the rumors are out there that there may be more today. Ooh, Gator fans just shudder to think. I understand, but it's a bit of a mess right now at Florida. Here's my question on that. Let's just do a little tangent. Florida, I think, may end up being all right this year. I've given you the reasons why. I think their defense will be good, not as good as it has been, but there's still enough talent there. They'll be good. They're going to start Felipe Franks at quarterback, whatever. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better, I think, than starting Del Rio. And, I guess sometimes transfers don't work out. And so, you go with a young talent that you're trying to groom for the future there. Fine. I don't know what Felipe Franks will be, but he can't be any worse than what they've been rolling out there with lately, right? But the schedule really sees Florida playing many of their toughest games at home. So I think Florida almost accidentally win 8-9 games, and if everything breaks right, could end up being somewhat of a surprise team. Except, reading the reports out of Gainesville, you've got players, teammates, friends turning on one another. And my question about that is, what the hell does that do to a locker room? It's like having a thief in the locker room. It's like having a guy that you think is stealing from you, a guy you can't trust, a guy that you kind of want to beat their ass. And I would think that when I've got a teammate who rolls me, well, we've got issues here now. We've got a divided locker room because apparently it's happened more than once in this situation where multiple players have rolled multiple other players. Man, no. That's how you lose a locker room. That's how a locker room becomes divided.
And that's how you lose a game that perhaps, you'd win by 7 or fewer points. That's how it turns into an L because nobody is simpatico anymore.
Well, right. And Michigan's favored by 3.5. I'll take Michigan, give the 3.5. We'll see if he can keep the locker room.
Our wager still exists, though, because we predated come on now.
10 guys, though, Tom?
I'm sorry.
Well, that's a little cheapy. If they suspend more today, we're gonna have to void the wager.
I mean, it could
Vegas would void the wager.
It could be a couple of walk-ons,
Well,
that's what they need right now to field third-teamers.
All right, I'm taking Michigan -3.5. NC State -5 against South Carolina. South Carolina's going to struggle to score. Give me NC State's defense to carry the day and win this game by more than 5. I'm giving the 5. I've got Georgia giving 14.5 to App State. People have it in their head that App State is some sort of giant killer. They had the famous win over Michigan. They nearly knocked off Tennessee last year right off the bat. Overtime loss there. That's when we should have known that Butch Jones was once again going to screw this thing up with Tennessee. I had to catch myself there. But that said, I don't think App State's all that good. Give me Georgia.
I've often used that phrase, and you always look at
and
me
I always
and
cringe.
think,
I'm
wow.
like, man, we don't want to roll that out here.
That's a phrase I'd never had a problem with, and you know what? You have a lot that I
don't have a
whoa.
lot. I'm not offended by any phrase just about it, so long as it's not some sort of crazy like racist thing. But think about what you're saying.
I guess.
Say it
It's
out
just,
loud to yourself.
Man, if it's been said in your kitchen or your living room your
you
entire
don't think
life,
it's so bad,
I
right?
don't think it's so bad.
Well, that's like me with certain other curse words said in my kitchen for years.
Oh, yeah, I've heard some.
Well, no, I don't mean just for me. I mean just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's every parent's got catch.
There's a foreboding in the air, man. You see this? The lights have flickered twice in the building.
We're all right. It's Redemption Thursday. It's not going to get in the way of our fun. No, sir. FAU plus 9.5. All right. Give me the 9.5. Those criminals are going to put it together and make this an interesting game against Navy. Alabama. Oh, did I do this? I did. I did this. I took Alabama and I gave 7 to Florida State. Go ahead. Come at me. Let's go.
I can't take your null card. It's already been taken away
Oh.
by the people. You can't take away somebody's null card twice.
No taking of a null card, man. People forget this show 20 years ago, 15 years ago, was talking about moving on from a legendary head coach. I've said far worse that, hey, I'm going to take the favorite against Florida State.
Yeah, but how comfortable were you in making that pick and taking Alabama? And
What do you mean how comfortable? You mean, am I worried I'm going to lose the wager? I'm hoping I lose the wager. I want to lose the wager. I'd love to lose the wager. That would make me nothing would make me happier. If I lost every other game, and I mean, if I won every other game and lost that one, whatever. Yes, I'd be very, very happy.
When you were checking the boxes left and right, sometimes you have to think about the box you're going to check, and sometimes you don't. You say, "No, that should be fine." So when you gave the 7 or 7.5,
if it had been 7.5, I think I'd have taken Florida State.
So it's 7.
7.
You're guarding against the push, but 7.5 would have put you over the top. That's the line of delineation.
Yeah, just about, yeah. Although I still think.
See?
I just don't think we're going to block it up. More on that later in the show. I just don't trust us to block it. That's all it is. If we go out there and we block it up, if Derek Kelly plays well and Eberle plays well and Leonard is better than I think he's going to be because I don't think he's great, then okay. Then I'll know early because I'm going to be watching that, scrutinizing that more than any other element of this game early on. I'm going to be watching the line of scrimmage as one should do at the beginning of a football game where that's in question. That's what I'm looking at. And if we show that we, either have implemented a scheme that is going to allow for Florida State to get the ball, or in this case, DeAndre Francois to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and it's not really going to be reliant on the offensive line to buy time, and it's working, yes, I'll be buoyed in that moment. God forbid we line up and run the ball, which I absolutely don't think is going to happen. I mean, that's one thing I'm almost certain of, is that we are not going to line up and run the ball successfully against Alabama. And that bothers me to say because typically if you can't do that and you are one-dimensional out the box, which is why Alabama dominates everybody, they set up second and third and obvious, they turn you over, they hit your quarterback, and it becomes a long, long night. And that's my fear for this game. If I had a question mark about us out on the edges, if I were worried about, I don't know, something like our running backs, if I were worried about our defensive backs even in a game like this against Jalen Hurts, I'd say, that's okay. We can overcome that. They just got to be average. But that's not my fear. My fear is the offensive line against Alabama's defensive line. And I like the defense to play well. I like Florida State's defense to play well. I think we'll show up and play well there. But even in that, I have some question marks because Charles Kelly.
You think we're a top 10 team?
I do.
You think Alabama is unequivocally a top team in the country?
I think they're a top 5 team.
Top 5 team?
Yeah.
Just trying to gather, if we can't keep up with Alabama, what does that make us?
Really?
In your mind?
I mean, it makes us really, really good, and like everybody else who doesn't keep up with Alabama on a regular basis. I mean, very few teams have. By the way, real quick, Washington minus 27.5. I'll give it against Rutgers. Rutgers was dreadful a year ago. Washington's good. Nebraska minus 14.5 against Arkansas State. I don't really like that game at all. I needed a 10th game. I threw it in there. There you go. Redemption Thursday wagers. They're up. Go to ESPN Tallahassee on the Facebook page.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Oh, a Sport Clips well-played moment.
Gentlemen, the mind of the human male is a peculiar thing. Every day we walk through a car wash of external stimuli, from the eyeballs to the ear holes, to exotic hot dog smells, to imported energy drinks. So does our mind wander? You bet it does. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's why Sport Clips is Sport Clips. They make a haircut memorable, but with as little thought required from us as possible. A great MVP haircut experience with a hot steam towel, massaging shampoo, and sweet, sweet sports on TV. So if that man in the mirror looks like an island castaway, or just has some hair that needs attention, well, you've got this solved because you know Sport Clips. And if you're already looking Sport Clips handsome, well played, sir. Well played.
Sport Clips haircuts. Find a location near you at sportclips.com.
I'm your Venus. Sun rays, outdoor days, beach getaways. No matter the plan this long weekend, smooth skin is a must. So this Labor Day, take the labor out of shaving. She's got it! Venus razors are designed especially for women with rounded heads that are made for curves. So shaving tricky areas like knees and ankles, not tricky at all. So let Venus give you smooth skin that fits right into your plans for the holiday weekend. Venus.
College football programs know the importance of recruiting. If they want to compete at the highest level, they need to bring on the best talent, people who have the skills and drive to be a success. The same is true in business. Recruiting is vital. And with ZipRecruiter, you'll have a smarter and simpler way to assemble your own winning team. With just one click, you can post your job to over 100 job boards. Then ZipRecruiter's matching technology identifies relevant talent fast. 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within 24 hours. And your ZipRecruiter dashboard helps keep everything in one place. So it's easy to review and rank the candidates with the best experience. You'll be building a powerhouse program in no time. Choose the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Florida State Seminoles.
For your free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles. ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles. Once again, for a free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles.
If you've been suffering from a chronic illness and prescription drugs aren't working, it's time to seek alternative treatment. Dr. Joe Dorn provides evaluations and ordering of natural products for patients who qualify under the new Amendment 2 law. To make an appointment with Dr. Dorn or for a free e-visit, go to mmtcfl.com. That's mmtcfl.com. Visit Dr. Dorn at our Tallahassee MMT Clinic on Capitol Circle Northeast, next to the Cake Shop. It's time to stop suffering and seek affordable and compassionate care.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac is back at it, supporting the High School Scholar Athlete of the Month on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Listen every Wednesday to hear our monthly winners. Check them out at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMCCadillac.com.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Always fun to take a look at some of the other experts around the country and their thoughts on the big games this weekend against the spread picks. For example, Phil Steele has Florida State covering against Alabama. There you go.
He loves us. He always has.
Headline, Steele picks Florida State to cover versus Bama. College football season is back, which means that our betting experts are as well. Every Thursday, CFB experts Phil Steele, Stanford Steve, and what's his name from Miami? Chris Felicia or whatever his name is. The Bear.
Oh, Falica, yeah, I think. Yeah, the Bear.
I always just kind of roll my eyes.
That's a hell of a segment on College Game Day, isn't it? Every year.
Why do they do it? It's really odd.
And then they have him read the trivia questions during the primetime games.
So here you go. All I really cared about here was this. It kind of interested me, though, that my pick was 34-20 or 34-21 Alabama. Bears got Alabama winning 31-21. But Steele's got Alabama winning 26-23. Let me ask you this. I know on the surface it should seem obvious, but I'm not so sure. If this game is tied at 23-23 with like 2 minutes to play and Bama's driving and kicks the game-winning field goal in the waning seconds to beat us, would you prefer that? If we're going to lose the game, would you prefer that to something that's a little bit more decisive but yet still makes you feel okay about where we're at moving forward? Because here's what I mean. In truth, if this is in the fourth quarter and it's a tie ball game with a chance to win, I think that it would be agonizing to come up short. We've waited for this game all off season. It's been the one talked about ad nauseum, and I have said, much to the chagrin of many, that I don't think we're going to win it. And I also have said that I don't think it's going to be that close. I think it'll be a one-possession game going into the fourth quarter, and we'll get worn down, and Alabama will score and kind of salt it away. But if I'm wrong, and I would be gladly wrong, but if I'm wrong and we're every bit the equal of Alabama and have a good chance to win it and instead get our heart ripped out on a last-second field goal like that Phil Steele prediction says, I don't think I'll deal with that very well. Just emotionally, that'll really piss me off.
That's a hard one because it's the first game of the year. I get that it feels like a playoff game or a bowl game, and that would be a hell of a fate to end your season, but the season's not over. I think largely the first goal is to win the football game. And then the second goal, if you can't win the football game, is to feel good about this daunting schedule and where we stand, and being able to handle the schedule. So if we can check off the box on number 2, it doesn't matter to me if the game is a field goal at the buzzer or if that means that we lose by 7 or 10 and there's a lot of happenstance involved there. As long as I know and I feel after watching this play for 60 minutes against the best that we are among the best, man, that's the first consolation prize next to winning that I'd take.
By the way, Nick Saban in his career is 8-2 against the spread versus former assistant coaches. He's undefeated against them, but he's also 8-2 against the spread against them. He's had his fair share of success. It is also right to point out that many of those games featured teams that were thoroughly outmatched and didn't have nearly the same competitive balance that Florida State will bring in athlete for athlete against Alabama. So it's a little bit different when it's McElwain at Florida and those sorry-ass teams facing Alabama. Or many of the other assistants that we've kind of alluded to in the past that didn't have the teams to do it.
I mean, Alabama wins more than its fair share of games when it plays a top-3 opponent, a top-flight opponent. But at the same time, anytime you play a top-flight opponent, you're at greater risk to lose the ball game. It's self-evident. I think a lot of times we just recall a lot of top 10 wins, phantom top 20 SEC wins, and count them all the same. Count them all as further proof that Alabama is head and shoulders above the rest. They're head and shoulders above the rest in consistency and recruiting. But in terms of week to week on the field for 60 minutes, when they're playing the top flight teams, man, you can stick with Alabama for 4 quarters.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, and I have really felt bad when people get mad and they say, well, you act like we don't have a chance. I'm not trying to paint that picture. That's not, if I've made that If I've made that the thing that you take away from me picking Alabama, then it means I haven't stated quite clearly that I think Florida State is one of the best teams in the country and well on their way to the playoff, and I think we're going to play very well in the game. It's just that I'm giving a lot of respect to Alabama. I am. And I am because they do play well in these games. They do have a distinct advantage. Almost everybody they face in the trenches every year. And one of my question marks is, again, the offensive line. Clemson's offensive line last year against Alabama was a far cry better than our offensive line. So when people say, well, we had Clemson beat, well, yes, but Clemson's offensive line is better than our offensive line against Alabama in that matchup, and they played like it. They played like horses. I'm not trusting ours to do that is my biggest question mark. I do think we're going to show up defensively, though. And one thing I will say, if you're going to beat Alabama, you're going to have to not give up the non-offensive touchdowns that they score. It's ridiculous. They led the country last year. Everybody's aware of that stat. 15 non-offensive touchdowns last year generated by Alabama. I don't think that's repeatable. Now, I understand a lot of that has to do with speed, talent, size, depth, all that, coaching. Sure, off the cap. Gotcha. You ain't repeating that. You're not getting 15 non-offensive touchdowns, far and away leading the country. That ain't happening again. But when teams do that, that's when they get blown out. When you give up a scoop and score, a pick six, a punt return, a block kick, then it gets away from you. You can't do that. Florida State cannot do that and win this game.
Yeah, nobody coaches better with the lead than Alabama.
Oh, man, they wear you down, and yeah.
They can build a lead by being a boa constrictor. They can build a lead by being a tank. But either way, you don't need to help them by giving them the lead, doing something stupid.
Well, it's the Washington, giving up the pick six last year in a game that's close early in the playoff, and then you go, oh, well, good night, because it's so hard to score against them. You feel like you just turned a normal-sized mountain into Everest.
Yeah, if they got 14 points in the second quarter, that means you need to score 24 to win because they're not going to go scoreless.
Scoreless the rest of the game.
Right, so you would figure they're going to get to 20, 21, so you need to get somewhere upwards of 24, and you're sitting at 7 points with 2.5 quarters to play. You're asking a lot.
Let me tell you, every second we get closer to this game, I am more and more convinced. How does Florida State execute on first down in the passing game? I'm going to throw it on first down. I'm going to throw it a lot on first down. I'm going to spread you out, throw the football, and I'm going to hope like hell that we win our fair share of those plays in particular, because now 2nd and 5, I can do whatever I have to do. But if I'm missing on those throws or they're getting undue pressure early in the game, can't block it up, whatever it might be, stunning, a Florida State 2nd and 10, you're going to lose the game. First down's the key to the game. It often is. But when you don't have a distinct talent advantage, it becomes all the more imperative that you win your fair share of first downs. And in our case, with the way that we play and the way I think we have to play against Alabama, you got to win that first down by throwing the football.
I hear you there. My question is, if it's 3rd and 2 and you don't think we're going to get a push, are we going to have to throw on 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2? Is it that insurmountable, or is the offensive line going to be good enough that if we need a yard, we need a couple of yards, are we going to be able to get them?
No.
Well, then, yeah, I could see why you have Alabama winning handily.
You don't think we're going to get it either.
That's not true. That's not true.
We're going to line up and push them off the ball? Bullshit. No way.
I'm saying if it's 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2, it's not
third
a fait accompli.
We have sucked at that forever. Rick Trickett, the reason the scorn that we have for him is the way it is, save for few examples, this offensive line in short yardage situations does not line up and knock people off the ball. It drives us nuts as a fan base. Drives us nuts. We struggle to do it against teams not named Alabama. We're surely not, in my opinion, going to go line up and do that consistently anyhow.
I'm not saying convert on 80 to 100% of your opportunities on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, but
I also think there's a big difference between 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, no, I have no faith we're going to line up and run the ball and get 2 yards. 3rd and 1, well, maybe.
But, okay, you want to stay ahead of the chains, but what's the purpose then? Down and distance leverage, if you can throw or run the ball. And if Alabama's just good enough to stop us running the ball no matter what we do,
because
you know what I mean?
No, well,
we're just throwing all day anyway.
No, the difference is that you at least provide the opportunity for balance because they have to play you honest on 3rd and 2 as opposed to 3rd and 5 where they know you're throwing the football.
But not if they're going to blow us up on every play. I
didn't say they're going to blow us up on every play. I don't think we're going to line up and get our fair share of 3rd and 2s by running the ball at Alabama's defense. There aren't too many teams that do that, period.
I think it's important to state here that if the offensive line loses a battle or two badly in the first drive or two, that's not the end of the game.
Of course not.
And it's not something to overreact to.
I also don't think Alabama's going to line up and run the ball in Florida State on 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3 and win their fair share of battles. I give them a better chance to do so, but I don't think that they're going to have a lot of success doing that either. We've got a great defensive line and a ton of talent and a ton of size and a ton of depth and an end in Josh Sweat that can set the edge. And no, I think that it's going to be tough sledding for both of these offenses to line up and try to run the ball. I think that's a tall task. That's why I do believe Alabama's going to run Jalen Hurts and all this talk of pro style and all that. No. They're going to run his ass.
Well,
they have to.
Yeah, in a third and medium or a third and, diverse situation, if you want to put it that way. Who's to say we're not going to run our quarterback, too, in those moments? And we'll see what the success rate would be. It's just, I think the hard part of the last 2 months, 6 weeks of talking about this game is trying to separate, and it's impossible to do so. It's an exercise in futility, but where does the ghost of Alabama's greatness end, and where does the reality of this team begin?
Sure.
And it's something we can't know. But what we do know is from an experience standpoint, we've got a fighting chance more than most teams do when they're facing Alabama's defensive front seven.
So I think when you look at the teams that have had success running the ball against Alabama, they aren't the offense that we run. And I've said this repeatedly. They're an offense that runs their quarterback a lot. In the case of Ohio State against Alabama, you're talking about a huge quarterback, and you're talking about Ezekiel Elliott, and you're talking about 4 offensive linemen that went in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft. So we're not that. Deshaun Watson and Clemson, the way they ran the football, and with Wayne Gallman, they didn't have a lot of success early on in that, but obviously as the game wore on and the plays began to mount because Alabama couldn't convert on third down, Alabama's defense got worn out. 99 plays later, they give up some points when they couldn't afford to do it, and they lose the game. But they outscored Alabama, if I recall, 21-7 in the fourth quarter. Most of Clemson's points came at the end of the game. They were not having a lot of success moving the ball. So I don't think it's a crazy leap or even overly pessimistic to suggest that Florida State will struggle to move the ball on the ground. I just don't.
I think I should clarify, too, on those third and short situations. I'm not talking about lining up in goal line personnel necessarily and projecting what it is you're going to run.
Right, because that ain't going to work.
It's that you're going to run, a couple of receivers out there. Maybe you'll have 3 wide, and then you at least plausibly have to look like you could throw the football in that situation.
But that's why it's important to win first down, because then you put them in a situation where it is plausible that you could throw the football, and Alabama can't stack and decide that they are going to run or that they are going to pass. You got to make them play you honest.
Well, if you roll 3 wide out there and you got Izzo in, you're in the pistol or some such thing. We'll see what the offensive sets are going to be this year.
I'm excited about that too, yeah.
And then you got Patrick behind you or Akers, whatever. I mean, in that situation, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, we can't get a yard. The line can't get us a yard. If the answer to that is no, they can't get us a yard, then damn it, man, I hear you. And on Monday, when we're on, I'll say, well, you know what, you're right.
Well, but
this sucks that we can't get a damn yard when we need a damn yard.
But I think it's got to be. I think you got to be tempered with your negativity in that situation. Nobody lines up and runs the ball in Alabama. That's why they're so damn good. That's what's so frustrating. Leonard Fournette couldn't get a freaking yard when he needed to get a yard against Alabama. And LSU, that's what they do, is run the damn ball, and they couldn't against Alabama. Very few teams over the last 10 years can. There have been some, but it's few and far between. Yes, if it's overwhelming, it will be disappointing. But if it's just that Alabama wins more than their fair share or the majority of the battles in the trenches, that's why they're Alabama. That's what they've been able to do better than everybody else because they've recruited at a higher level.
Nobody's calling for them to win, for Florida State, that is, to win 8 of 10 third and short situations. You know what I mean? It's just you got to win your fair share. And the other thing I would state is if you believe Florida State to be a playoff contender this year, a top 4 team legitimately, well, all these examples where Alabama's playing the best in the country, we're as good as any one of those teams that Alabama has played through the years. And those Alabama defenses from the early part of this decade especially, those are legendary defenses in the game of college football. I mean, what is this group? They've got a lot to prove first. I know they're blue chippers, but we knew that when the great times turn into the lost decade. You got to do something with blue chippers too. You got to develop them, and they have to get on the field in the heat of the moment and perform. And this is the first opportunity for a lot of those kids. It's a great time to play the Tide.
I hope you're right. I hope that it is a good time to play Alabama. It's interesting. I'm looking at some of the responses, and yes, it's a good point being made by here. Tally Wine guy writes, Jeff, you're wrong. We were number 8 in the country in power success rate last year and return all interior offensive linemen. Yes, against a lot of teams, we could move the ball in that situation. I'm talking about historically the frustration we've had in short yardage situations. Now, some of that is perception. A lot of people are always angry at the offensive line, but many of those teams weren't Alabama. And I do think it's a different animal. That's all I'm saying. It is typically a different animal when you're facing them. And I do think that will be an area because, well, nobody's questioned center play more than you. So that's a question mark. You're not in love with Minshew?
I'm not in love with Minshew.
Okay,
I
so
feel better about Eberle than I do Minshew. But I also know that last year the defensive lines that we faced, I mean, if this group isn't ready by now, they've seen elite defensive line play not once, not twice, closer to a handful of times already.
Let's hope that it prepared them to take a huge step forward and win maybe, I won't say a majority, but enough of the battles in the interior against Alabama's defensive line, the one that I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt on currently, or the one that I haven't afforded them enough credit to say they can win. If I'm wrong about that, Florida State can win the game. That's a big question mark, and it's one that I'm excited to see, because I will say this, if in fact they are winning those battles, Florida State could easily win the game, and it would be reason for me to come in here on Monday and say, man, we've got a chance to win the national title, and oh, by the way, I can't wait for the rest of these games, including defensive line against Miami and NC State, two teams that will come in here in the next 4 weeks that are also very good on defense, because I'll know if you knock Alabama off the ball in short yardage, you can knock anybody off the ball in short yardage.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford. The place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
And we're going to celebrate on Sunday.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Whole Foods Market, a leader in natural and organic food that brings the highest quality of local and global products to Tallahassee. Whole Foods Market, located at 1817 Thomasville Road, and presented by MMT Clinics of Florida. Visit mmtcfl.com.
To the pylon! That's a Seminoles touchdown!
Noel fans, ESPN Tallahassee's official home for FSU watch parties in 2017 is Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Francois to throw for the end zone. It is caught! Touchdown! Seminoles are going for the win.
The ESPN Tallahassee team will be on hand for every Seminole away football game with giveaways, a chance to win some great prizes, and to have a good time.
To the pylon! He's into the end zone for an FSU touchdown.
So, when the Noles hit the road, join us at Miller's Ale House on the Parkway, the official FSU watch party headquarters of your home of the best in Seminole sports talk. 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Authority.
The new Fox and Stag, Tallahassee's local craft cocktail bar in the heart of Midtown on Thomasville Road and 5th Avenue, featuring a newly expanded liquor menu including limited release scotches, whiskeys, and bourbons, as well as unique spirits distilled right here in Florida. If wine is your thing, swing by and try one of Fox and Stag's hand-selected bottles from their ever-expanding wine list, or simply enjoy one by the glass paired with a charcuterie board or delicious small plates. Sometimes you just want a cold beer, and Fox and Stag has you covered too, with rotating drafts and bottles sure to quench your thirst. Come by for a drink and stay for the company, Tuesday through Saturday from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. For catering or private parties, message Fox and Stag on Facebook.
College football programs know the importance of recruiting. If they want to compete at the highest level, They need to bring on the best talent, people who have the skills and drive to be a success. The same is true in business. Recruiting is vital. And with ZipRecruiter, you'll have a smarter and simpler way to assemble your own winning team. With just one click, you can post your job to over 100 job boards. Then ZipRecruiter's matching technology identifies relevant talent fast. 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within 24 hours. And your ZipRecruiter dashboard helps keep everything in one place, so it's easy to review and rank the candidates with the best experience. You'll be building a powerhouse program in no time. Choose the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Florida State Seminoles.
For your free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles. ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles. Once again, for a free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles.
The Knolls are heating up, and so are the Makita deals at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, your Big Bend Makita Pro Center. The Build Your Own Kit promo is here with many options to choose from. Buy a Makita Dual Base Starter Kit with bag, 2 5-amp-hour batteries, and pick your 2 bare tools. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, your professional and serious do-it-yourself shop. 1110 Stuckey Ave, Tallahassee, or 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Call them at 580-1200 in Tallahassee or 926-1144 in Crawfordville. Online at CTF.NU.
Bama versus FSU.
Down the sidelines, touchdown, Seminoles! Rumbling all the way to the end zone, touchdown, Bama!
ESPN Tallahassee's Jeff Cameron is headed to Atlanta for Bama Beatdown. Brought to you by Fred Conrad, criminal defense lawyer. Remember, don't blow it. Call 222-4005.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Texans coach Bill O'Brien says he feels strongly about playing the team's season opener as scheduled a week from Sunday against the Jaguars in Houston. Just before today's deadline, the Cavaliers and Celtics finally complete the trade, sending Kyrie Irving to Boston and Isaiah Thomas to Cleveland. The Celtics sent a 2020 second-round draft pick to the Cavs to finish that deal. The college football weekend kicks off tonight. Number 2 Ohio State plays at Indiana. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
It's official. Weekends are now reserved for football. So come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are all there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food. It's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Some of it could be a lingering effect from the fact that it's not lost on me that we went into last year singing the praises of and having almost unbridled enthusiasm for how we thought the defense was going to play, only to watch the defense be, for a good portion, certainly of the first half of the season, bad. Nothing short of just bad. At times, horrible. Now, it's fair to say every year is different, and down at the end of the year, last 7-8 games, Florida State played much better on defense. True. It's just that it's not, it's easy for me to say right now that I think the defense will be very good based on the personnel, because I thought that again last year. And I know things happened. We had injuries and we had some poor play out of guys that we expected to be much better, and some that aren't here now. And so, again, I come into the season thinking that we'll play a lot better defensively, and we have personnel that suggests they'll be very, very good. But last year, those were the same exact talking points, and then we watched a sieve. We just watched the defense give up play after play after play. So, I get that, you tweet at me and you email and say, well, we've got this and we've got that, and we're loaded here, and don't you know that this guy's Derwin's back? Well, Derwin played against Ole Miss. as they went up and down the field. I mean, it's not – I love Derwin. I think he's going to be best player on the field Saturday. And I think it's going to make a huge impact season long that he's out there and can be dominant. But I need to see my defensive coordinator have his team prepared and all these great athletes in position. I need to see plays get in on time. I need to see a lack of confusion. I mean, this is not a one-year thing. The confusion, the getting the plays in late on defense has been a hallmark of Charles Kelly. And that's a fact. There's no getting around that, and it's aggravating, and I don't assume that it's going to be better. It might be. And if it is, it's about damn time, and they may play defense at an elite level because they do have great players. We'll see.
If you're arguing for, you can look back at the 2015 season when the defense was the thing that was holding everything together. By the end of the season, you thought, man, this really is a top 10 type defense here at Florida State. And, boy, if we could just marry that with some of the teams of yesteryear, say the 09 team or the 10 team, with any kind of offense, with consistency at the quarterback position, what could we have done this season? And then also, you're looking at obviously the talking point last year of simplifying things on defense and what the players did after the IOU stuff. And they were talking about how the coaching staff has decided, hey, let's not master everything or try to be a little bit good at everything. Why don't we get really good at a few things? So if you combine those two things plus the presence of Derwin James on the field, which is a game-breaker's presence, there's your sources of optimism for this season. It has happened before. This defense has looked elite before under Charles Kelly. So it wouldn't be the first time.
No, and it surely wouldn't be the first time that all that elite talent was massively confused and giving up tons of yards with nobody on the screen either. That's what I mean. We've seen it. We've seen them be wildly inconsistent despite personnel that suggests they ought not be wildly inconsistent. And I just have a feeling that with a coaching staff of 400 people like Alabama does, they're primed to try to take advantage of said confusion, and opportunities will present themselves. And you know what? If that doesn't happen, well, here we go. Good. Figured it out. Good on you. I'd like him to stick around. I like the man. I actually think he knows what he's doing. There's just been a disconnect between that knowledge and his ability to teach it and have them execute it.
It's hard to know what the budget is exactly, but did you find it interesting that when we saw the photos from Media Day and the teams in the bleachers and they're doing the annual photo, comparing Alabama's to Florida State's, it was quite similar if you're looking for coaching, quote-unquote, personnel, support personnel, because you could quite clearly see them in both photos. They had polo. I believe both teams had white polos for their coaches. Mm-hmm. But the rows and rows of people that were not players or, coordinators and position coaches or Jimbo Fisher, holy cow, it looks like the quote-unquote support staff, at least from a size standpoint, is around
getting there. We're getting there.
The same number of people, yeah.
I don't think it's the same, though. I think there were probably people not featured in those pictures for Alabama. I think whenever you read that stuff, you go, well, good Lord, really? They got a guy that's a former head coach that's 25 man down on the totem pole? He's, it's crazy.
I'll bet you about 3 weeks ago, Nick got a phone call, and it was John Gruden. He said, hey, I'll do it for free. Nick, what do you say? Send me the film. I'll take a look at it, and I'll give you a couple ideas. I'll do it for free. I don't have a playbook, Nick, to give it to anybody. You want my playbook? Free of charge. I'll be your support staff.
At Jay Cameron Show, I'm concerned about my ability to maintain until Saturday night. Hashtag a-hole. You getting nervous? Getting nervous, are you? It's funny because it may seem like I am distraught. It may seem like I think that we're bereft of hope, as I like to say. No, Florida State could win the game. I'm not picking them to, but they could win the game. I'm giving you my concerns. I'm laying out my concerns heading into the game, and there are enough of them that lead me to believe Alabama's going to win the game. But it only takes some of those concerns to have been remedied. And it's possible that they are. It might very well be that Derek Kelly's the player that was emerging as a redshirt freshman and not the one that we've seen since the leg injury that's been wildly inconsistent and often benched. It could very well be that Alec Eberle was playing under, and feeling the effects of devastating injuries that didn't really allow us to see just how good he could be. Now, I don't know that he's ever going to be elite. But can he be decent to good? Okay, well, that will go a long way because he wasn't last year. He stunk. So it could be, again, that those things are much better, and that immediately changes the game. It changes what you can do in third and short. It changes what you can call if you're Jimbo Fisher. It gives you more options. I'll grant you that. Maybe, just maybe, the second half of last season wasn't just the byproduct of simplifying and facing offenses that didn't run up-tempo spread, but they actually figured something out, that less is more and let talent be talent and make plays, and they'll carry that over into this year, and they'll be lined up, and we'll be ready to go. Could be.
Honesty has been a hallmark trait of this show ever since you started it 20-odd years ago. So in an honest moment, scale of 1 to 10, how much fatigue factor do you have breaking down the hypotheticals, maybes, assumptions about this game happening Saturday, finally?
I think everybody from players to assistants to people in the athletic department to fans to writers to anybody and talk show hosts, we're all ready to play football, ready to see football, play football, be a part. Just to let's get the questions answered, because it's easy to – this is funny. At Jay Cameron Show, I think you have us going 12-1 or close to it. Now it feels like we can't beat anybody. I don't know where you get that from. If I think Alabama's a great program and the most consistent, dominant team in all of college football and say it and pick them, as does Vegas and just about the vast majority of selected people picking this game to beat us, it doesn't mean I think we suck. It means I think Alabama's really good and that there are things that we have trouble with that could hurt us in this game. I think Florida State could lose by 3 touchdowns to Alabama and win the remaining games they play. It wouldn't stun me at all. If we lose, I'm telling you now, I might actually be, this would be really odd, and I think it's a distinct possibility, and believe me, I've given it some thought. I might be the most calm, rational individual on Monday morning when we come in here to do the show. Well, Monday morning when we come in here to start prepping to do the show for the afternoon, of anybody in this fan base, because I believe it's possible that I would come in here and say, if Alabama won 38-10 and the sky is falling, oh my God, we suck, I'm going to be the guy that says, we're good, we're really good, just Alabama's too good. Right now they're too good. We'll win the rest of our games. Nobody else is going to be like that. We're going to beat Miami here. We'll beat NC State. We're going to beat Louisville at home on the 21st of October. We're going to beat Clemson on the road in November, and we're going to pound Florida to close out the year. We'll get a return match against Miami, whom we'll beat again to win the ACC championship. We'll be 1 game away from solidifying the Platinum Bohica, and we will go to the college football playoff, and we'll see where that takes us. I believe that's entirely possible, even if we get blown out in this game. And I'm not picking us to get blown out. But if it happened, I still would stick by the fact that Florida State is a very good team.
If Alabama beat us 38-10, and it wasn't a flukish, weird turnovers kind of game. And they did that with the lack of experience they have in certain areas so far. And their offense is going to grow as they understand their coordinator, and they still beat us 38-10. Well, good Lord, sir, that would be a hell of a thing.
I don't think it would be a hell of a thing because Bama sometimes wears you down. You start to take chances because you're having a hard time moving the football. They do that very well. They really do stifle a lot of very good offenses. And maybe you take some chances you wouldn't otherwise take, and that's where those 15 non-offensive touchdowns come into play. And what was once a close game can get ugly in a hurry. What was it? Was it 2 years ago? When was it? Was it the game against Florida in the SEC championship that was way too close, given the talent differential? And we're watching that game, and you're going, what is Alabama doing? Well, they were kind of just going through the motions. They didn't really respect Florida. But at one point, pretty late in that game, it was relatively close. And then it got, a little bit more lopsided. We're a lot better than that Florida team for sure. Yeah, a lot better. No. But what I'm saying is that there are games where it doesn't seem like it should be a blowout, and it ends up being that way because teams get to that point where they have to take chances, and that's when Alabama creates the turnovers, gets to the quarterback, makes something happen, cause a non-offensive touchdown to kind of change the shape of the game and the scope of the game. I've said before that even though I picked Bama, I think it'll be a one-score game going into the fourth quarter. Well, I mean, that's all you can really ask for. If I told you that right now, if I said right now, I can't, I don't know what the result's going to be, but we're within a touchdown in the fourth quarter. You'd take that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would, but I wouldn't be jumping for joy saying, all right, we kept it within one score against the mighty Alabama
I'm not saying
Crimson
that
Tide either.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if
that's the baseline. I mean,
if I told you I'm not giving us nothing, it's just going to be whatever the two teams do. I can't give you any promises. You got that, or I'll give you that it's a one-score game in the fourth quarter against Bama on Saturday night. Which one you taking?
Give me the fight. If we suck, we suck, but let's go in it with our head held high.
All right. Well, I've got us with a chance to win it within a score in the fourth quarter.
That's not head held high, though. That's we're limiting the damage.
Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Wonder why Tallahassee is a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
And now, a Sport Clips well-played moment.
Gentlemen, the mind of the human male is a peculiar thing. Every day we walk through a car wash of external stimuli, from the eyeballs to the ear holes, to exotic hot dog smells, to imported energy drinks. So does our mind wander? You bet it does. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's why Sport Clips is Sport Clips. They make a haircut memorable, but with as little thought required from us as possible. A great MVP haircut experience with a hot steam towel, massaging shampoo, and sweet, sweet sports on TV. So if that man in the mirror looks like an island castaway, or just has some hair that needs attention, well, you've got this solved because you know Sport Clips. And if you're already looking Sport Clips handsome, well played, sir. Well played.
Sport Clips haircuts. Find a location near you at sportclips.com.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
Proof Brewing Company and For the Table Hospitality present the 5th annual Florida Tap Invitational, September 29th and 30th. This 2-day event features a block party Friday and a beer festival on Saturday. VIP and general admission tickets are available at FloridaTapInvitational.com.
The big game is almost here, but you can't afford to go because ticket prices are through the roof. Don't worry, we got your back. Anytix.com offers you the lowest price tickets, guaranteed. Anytix.com doesn't mark up tickets. Anytix.com has zero. That's right, no buyer, seller, or service fees. For a small monthly fee of $9.99, you get access to all their wholesale tickets. Go to Anytix.com today. That's Anytix, T-I-X-X. Enter the coupon code ESPNTally and get 20% off your subscription. Anytix.com, changing the way you buy tickets.
Calling all golfers. Labor Day is your last chance to save huge this summer at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. With deals in every department this Friday through Monday. You'll save up to 20% on apparel, footwear, golf bags, and carts. The more you spend, the more you save. Bridgestone E6 Soft and Speed golf balls are on sale for $19.99 a dozen. And you can pick up the Garmin S2 watch for only $119.99. Don't miss these deals and more 4 days only at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Open Labor Day from 9 to 5.
Oh no! My lunch has been ravaged by ants.
Go to Bandito's Burritos.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Texans coach Bill O'Brien says he feels strongly about playing the team's season opener as scheduled a week from Sunday against the Jaguars in Houston. Just before today's deadline, the Cavaliers and Celtics finally complete the trade, sending Kyrie Irving to Boston and Isaiah Thomas to Cleveland. The Celtics sent a 2020 second-round draft pick to the Cavs to finish that deal. The college football weekend kicks off tonight. Number 2 Ohio State plays at Indiana. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
It's official. Weekends are now reserved for football. So come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are all there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food. It's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. Tom's got Florida State beating Alabama 27-3. I took Bama 80-0. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. You can email the show if you want, jcs at 97.espnradio.com.
Why can Florida State only score 27 points when it wins?
On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show, WTSM app for your mobile devices. On YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. Thanks for listening. Thursday night, Redemption Thursday. Games abound. Boom! It's a glorious day. Redemption Thursday wagers posted, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go. Go find them. Get your wager on. Tell me I'm wrong if you want. Go ahead and post the food items. Tell me which games you're taking. Say, hey, I'm Jerry, Jeff. I see you took Colorado State. I disagree. I'll get you a bet in here with some stew. There you go.
It's got to be the good kind of stew.
What is it that Ghost Pepper likes to wager something?
It's a beef stew.
Yeah, it's some sort of stew.
I know. He wrote it to Millar on Twitter. I'll figure it out.
He wrote that he would be doing this.
NT or some kind of
name
like
that's right.
that.
I think that's right. So the Redemption Thursday wagers, anyhow, they're up. And if you're wondering who I took, I'll just tell you real quick. I took Colorado State getting 4, took Louisville and gave the 24.5, took Maryland getting 18.5. Watch out, Tom. They could straight up beat Texas. Michigan giving 3.5 to Florida. NC State -5 to South Carolina. Georgia giving 14.5 against App State. FAU plus 9.5 against Navy. Alabama -7 against FSU. Ooh, cringe. Hate to do it, but I did it. Washington -27.5 against Rutgers, and Nebraska -14.5 against Arkansas State. I hate how many favorites I have. I'm Joe Public over here right now.
Thanks to Frank's Auto World. Go to franksautoworld.com for sponsoring Redemption Thursday. Tip of the cap for coming aboard. Dinty Moore Beef Stew. Dinty Moore Beef Stew.
All right, Dinty Moore. Yeah, there you go. Looky here. Tulsa, Oklahoma State tonight, 7:30. I get off the air. You get off the air. We go crack a beer. We watch college football, and life is grand. Ohio State, Indiana, 8 o'clock. ESPN, that's 4:03. FS1 450 is that Oklahoma State-Tulsa game.
Okay, I see you working.
Kind of more interested in that game than I am Ohio State, Indiana. Gotta be honest with you.
But it's the MegaCast, man. It's not just on 403. It's on
that's cool. I like
85 channels.
Yeah, I do like the MegaCast, though. We got coaches talking about it?
I don't know what coaches would be available. I guess like Les Miles would be available right now. And I think
Les is definitely available. I would think he's going to be in there, right?
I think Gene Chizik is now an analyst. I think he stepped down from North Carolina.
He did a good job with them. I'm surprised he stepped down.
Yeah, so maybe it could be like coaches like that, completely out of work. But the All-22 camera would be available during the MegaCast, and that's really cool to watch the game on.
If it's a competitive game. Otherwise, you just see what you know you're seeing without having to look at the All-22s.
We can watch it for a quarter and a half before we know it's not a competitive game,
That's
hopefully.
true. That's true. Ohio State and Indiana, 8 o'clock tonight. You got 2 Friday games as well with Washington and Rutgers. That's not much of a game. Utah State and Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a preseason top 10. Well, okay. Their schedule, by the way, if you're doing that thing where you're projecting teams to be in the top 10, not based solely on their talent or lack thereof, let's say, and rather their schedule and the amount of winnable games they play, it's Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin in that case.
Always.
Well, but it really is this year. It is. It's like I remember kind of almost being angry. You do that when you start looking at schedules, and I'm pulling theirs up right now. So theirs came to mind almost immediately. I went, well, good Lord. Also, by the way, I don't know, and this has nothing to do with nothing. It doesn't pertain to our listeners, and they're going to say, why are you bringing this up? And if he's listening to the show right now, I don't mean to offend him, but this probably will. Are you getting the incessant Matt Garvey emails from the Chick-fil-A people?
Yes, I am.
Sweet Jesus, Matt. What in the hell? I don't need an email every 5 minutes. I got it. Greatest opening game of all time. You emailed me that 15 times yesterday and 15 more today. Stop it.
You and email is a funny topic for maybe another day, but I like monitoring the way that you view email and the function of email. Like in an ideal world, you wish that a person would email you maybe once every 5 days, like it was snail mail. Because if you get 2 or 3 emails from a person within a 24-hour period of time.
What are we doing here, man? What the hell? I got it.
And then you quick delete it, but then you might need the middle one. And you go, he might have sent that.
Yeah,
but you know what? He sent me 5 emails, Tom, and so screw him.
I get impatient quickly about most things. I didn't know that I had a pattern that you've picked up on with email. But I am not going to lie and say I don't do that, because I do that. And I have at least confessed over the years, because it's happened enough times, where I have deleted a very important email because I'm tired of getting email from the person whose name sits atop that email. And I feel bad then. They'll say, well, did you get Jerry's email? And I'll quickly initially say, well, no, I don't think I got Jerry's email. But I know that I probably did, and I deleted it because Jerry had sent me like 6 in the last 3 days. I'm done with you. There's no reason that you could have ever had to send me 6 emails, because if it were an emergency, you would have reached out to me via the phone. You would have called me or come by the station, or you would have contacted somebody here and said, tell Jeff it's of a dire importance. He's got a long-lost relative who's dying in Michigan or something like that. But it's not. When it's something about the Chick-fil-A bowl, get the hell out of here with that. I got it. Stop it. Man.
It's the price you pay for the credential. It's the inconvenience.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Of the frequent doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo.
This freaking guy, I know he's doing his job. And listen, I don't want to alienate you, Matt. I'm sure maybe down the road we'll work together at some point. But fans heading to Atlanta for the 2017 Chick-fil-A kickoff game will be treated to bowl-like atmosphere that includes a full slate of game day activities that kick off well before Florida State and Alabama take the field. College football's longest-running, most celebrated pregame show is set to open the 2007. Okay, so that email where they tell you about the fan zone presented by Coca-Cola and the tailgate town by Home Depot.
Oh, no, you've just let him win.
And then, listen, all this other stuff, right?
He just won.
Well, no, he's broken me down. He's beaten me down to a point. That's it. I can't But I've received this email, this exact one. This one came in at 4:08. Listen, I'm appealing to the people here. 4:08, I got that email. I received an earlier email today. I'm looking at it right now at 2:14 p.m. from the same guy saying the same damn thing. Prior to that, hold on, wait, here he is again. Yesterday, 4 o'clock, same freaking email. Same one. Here we go. Prior to that, 1 o'clock. There he is, Matt Garvey, emailing me again about, hey, you know about the big kickoff classic here? Yes, I'm going to be there. Yes.
I guess they have a study that shows if you send the same email a certain amount of times, the host and or the beat writer is going to report about it.
I got another one on Tuesday, twice. One on Monday, early in the morning. Same one.
Those are all the same email?
I mean, yes, there are some slight differences. One of them did have to do with security. I'll give them that. It had to do with security. They wanted you to know about the increased security presence. All right, whatever.
Leave your weapons at home.
You got that. The rest of them are, hey, tailgate town. Everything. Just already with that. It makes me hate Chick-fil-A's kickoff game.
Perhaps you want to participate in some of these pregame activities.
I don't. There's no member of the media participating in any of these things. And I don't want you on to talk about it. No. Imagine that interview. Imagine. Hey, Matt, great to talk to you. So let's talk about Tailgate Town. Maybe you could enlighten us about the fan zone as we shoot ourselves in the face. I'm sorry. Needed to vent. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
No hassle payouts and no fine print. You'll experience the greatest customer service in the business. Guaranteed. Use promo code RADIO to activate your bonus of up to 100%. Call 844-900-2387 or visit mybookie.ag to open an account. That's 844-900-BETS or go online to mybookie.ag and use promo code RADIO. Win with the best only at MyBookie. Sign up today.
If you haven't stopped into Tallahassee's favorite hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill on North Monroe Street, you're missing out.
Hey, it's me, Courtney. Hey, it's me, Marissa.
Last but not least, I'm Kim, and we're the girls from the Fourth Quarter.
Okay, girls, there are lots of great nights to stop in at the Fourth Quarter, including Monday, where it's happy hour all day, including 2-for-1 Wells. There's Tuesday night trivia with Professor Jimmy, where you can win money. What other night should we stop by the Fourth Quarter?
It's Kim again. Join me Saturday and Sunday mornings for Bubbles and Brunch from 7 to 2. $18.99, all you can drink. drink mimosas and Bloody Marys, and it includes breakfast.
Hey, Riss here. Come join me for lunch. We have over 20 lunch specials for just $7.50, and that includes a drink.
I'm Courtney. Visit me on Monday nights when we have 2-for-1 wells, calls, and domestic drafts all night.
Don't miss out on the girls of the fourth quarter. Pick your favorite night and stop in. Say hi to the girls at 2033 North Monroe Street, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill, Tallahassee's favorite hangout.
O'Reilly. It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Castrol high-mileage motor oil and a MicroGuard filter for the price of conventional, just $24.99. Plus, earn double points on this purchase during O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
So I kind of hinted at it and didn't mention it. So I should do that real quick. Although none of you care, I'll make it quick. Wisconsin schedule, Tom. Remember I was telling you that if you're one of those people that ranked them in the top 10 and you did that thing where you go, well, it's less about who they are and more about who they play or don't play. Here you go. Utah State, Florida Atlantic, BYU, Northwestern, Nebraska, Purdue, Maryland, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, and Minnesota. They play Michigan at home. They play, let's see, anybody on the road that's any good? They play Iowa at home. I mean, that's it. At Nebraska? Is that like the only game they could lose?
Maybe. This reminds me of some of those Jim Tressel Ohio State teams in the last decade that got to the national title game and got waxed.
Except for when they beat Miami.
That one still stings. Hurricane fans to this day. You bring that up, and you better
I'll
be
bring
ready.
it up. That was a legit call.
What do you think hurts him more, being completely impotent in the rivalry against Florida State, or
I would think that. I think that'd be tough, to be completely impotent, to just be a wet noodle every year, have no chance to showcase some form of masculinity in an arch rival game. Yeah, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, one thing is one night of suffering, and maybe a year after that, every time you see the highlights, you get mad. But then there's pushing on a decade of just nothing, silence. When the clock hits triple zeros every year, silence. That's got to be tough because they love to yell and talk junk and all that stuff.
Usually it's not silence. It's again. We lost again to Florida State again.
I thought we had them this year.
Told you my favorite story was from a couple of years ago. Well, there was the picture I took of that loser as we were walking out, and I tweeted that one. It just said "bout right," where the guy had his socks pulled to his knees and his shirt off. Anyhow, that clown represented the fan base perfectly in the moment, but moreover, it was the two gentlemen screaming at the top of their lungs at one another by the car after the game. And the one guy going, "You just don't understand. You don't understand. They're just so much better than us. We played great tonight, and you don't even give us any credit." And the other guy going, "Well, I'm tired of losing. They've beaten us 6 straight times now, and I'm just sick of it." At some point, we have to cash in these. No, their program is so much better than ours right now. It's a miracle we were even in this game. It was so good. I was like, yes, keep going. I wanted to record it.
Give me that Colt 45, will you?
Yeah, it was awesome, though.
Old English, please, if you haven't.
It was the best. The fact that it was a game in the fourth quarter, given what their program is and what our program is, I mean, we shouldn't even be in the game. Why do you give them so much respect? It's Florida State. Screw them. They are. They're just better. They got better players at every single position than we do. They got a better coaching staff, better facilities, better fans. I just don't know why you think we should win this game. It's not the 80s. Well, I want it to be. Me too. We were relevant. We haven't been in 30 years. I know.
This is the most logical, coherent, sober conversation one could ever picture in their mind after a Miami-Florida State game.
It was the best, man. It makes me really laugh every time I think back on it. I'm like, ooh, that's a toughie.
And there's Cameron over there, 5 spots over, chewing on some popcorn.
Oh, I cracked a cold one in celebration of another win over Miami. Sat in that parking lot and listened to all of the bleeding hearts, the wails from Miami fans all around.
Should have walked over and said, well, that's a good point. No, he makes a great point there. Oh, this is an interesting debate, guys.
Go ahead, please continue. I'm going to record it, though. I might use it. Alabama's .862 winning percentage since the start of 2007 is college football's best. Ohio State comes in second at .841. And of the 10 winningest teams in that time frame, only 2, other than Alabama, spent the entire decade with the same coach throughout, Oklahoma and TCU. After Bob Stoops' retirement, it's down to just Gary Patterson in Fort Worth. That is to say, even at the top of the game, the pressure to win consistently claims many victims, and Saban has barely faltered even once. So writes today in an article on Sports Illustrated, or in Sports Illustrated, I should say, John Neeson. You can read more if you want to just wrap yourself with all of the Alabama loving that you're tired of hearing about, Tom.
It's a true point, but Stoops did retire. You know, it's still true. Even if he was on the list with Patterson, it doesn't lose its meaning. But, you know, Stoops wasn't a victim of trying to get to the next level of winning. He said, all right, you know what? I've had enough. Let's hang it up.
The article actually is about if you want to upset Alabama, how do you do it? Here are some ways that teams have beaten them. And they were saying there's no rule of thumb, no universal explanation for each of Alabama's 8 losses since 2011. The season when Saban won his second national title in Tuscaloosa and established that the dominant run Alabama was on might look something more like a dynasty. When the Tide lost the national championship game last winter, there was simply an equally talented team in their path. Against Ole Miss in 2015, the defense faltered worse than it had in years. And against the same Rebels in 14, it may have rested too easy on a 14-3 halftime lead. That is a crazy thing, by the way. They had given up all of 3 points in that game at halftime. 3 before it all fell to pieces.
That was a crazy Saturday, too. There were about 3 or 4 really good
weird
games all happening at the same time.
Well, and one of the points that I've made about some of the teams that have upset Alabama and that I worry that we're not equipped that way is that, you know, Ohio State's win over them. Cardale is huge. I mean, what did Cardale Jones weigh? 230, 240, and they ran him to go along with Zeke. So you had horses, and then you had 4 professional offensive linemen, and they came at him. But you had the kick 6 against Auburn, and then obviously after that, crestfallen as they were, they lost to Oklahoma. I would kind of chalk that up as they didn't really give a damn about being there. They were that close to playing for the national title or being in the playoff, and then it would have been playing for the national title. Yeah, you're right.
BCS with us, yeah. If they could have gotten by Missouri in the SEC title game, you know.
You're right.
That SEC East is a beast in 2013.
But if you think, you know, again, I bring this up all the time. It's kind of fun to look back on. Just as an afar, from afar, it has nothing to do with our game against them. But if you're Auburn or anybody else in that conference and you aspire, you know, Vandy doesn't aspire to win in a national championship. South Carolina doesn't. But the ones that realistically think they ought to be playing for those kinds of prizes, they're all having to change their coaches. That's what he's done. I mean, you look at it, it's happened one by one.
I found it interesting because, you know, the know your place thing is that's a tough thing to swallow for some.
How about my man yesterday dropping it down?
Yeah, Brad Edwards said, you know, Mississippi State fans know their place. in the grand scheme of college football. They know going to a bowl a year is a good deal. Interesting. I just didn't know any fan base would really, other than a Vandy or an academic institution that clearly doesn't spend money. Like Duke doesn't spend enough money. Wake Forest doesn't spend enough money, so those fans aren't going to be deluded. But you would think an SEC West team that did climb the ladder all the way for 5 weeks, as Brad said, to number one.
Absurdly overranked at the time, which we all knew,
Yes.
and the benefactor of whatever movement had somehow created the West Division to be the greatest thing in the history of college football, despite no real evidence of that, yes.
That would be the Darinoka movement. That's what that was. The Barnhart movement. Isn't he the CBS guy, or he used to be?
Tony Barnhart?
Yeah, Tony Barnhart.
Super nice guy.
You've said that in the past.
Super nice guy. One of my one of the nicer interactions that I've had a few times over the years in interacting with people in the press. And he's good people. Tony is, but in a long-standing writer and journalist that's covered the college football in the South and the SEC in particular for a long time. Good at what he does, or at least certainly was. I haven't run into Tony in a long time, but I had a long conversation with him one evening. Nice guy.
It doesn't seem like he would be, and you know what? There are times when you see somebody on television, you go, well, he seems great, and then you'll talk to either some of our NFL contacts, or I'll ask you because you've been around the block once or twice.
I'm getting old. Yep, met a lot of these guys.
Entering your third decade on covering a college football team.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Well, yeah, you'll tell me. You'll say, oh no, total ass, or great guy.
Yeah, it does surprise you sometimes. Where I thought certain guys were not going to be great guys, turned out to be, and then vice versa. I thought guys were, that guy's awesome, and then you meet him, talk to him for 30 minutes, you're like, nope, don't want to hang out with him again. Hey, you know what tonight is, Tom? Why don't you cue it up, buddy, and I'll tell you.
Count 'em up, pour 'em out.
I'll just have a cup of coffee. There it is.
It's Beer 30, brought to you by the 7th Hill Tap Room on Appalachia Parkway.
Tonight is Live Music Thursday featuring Brady. And if you're feeling a glass of vino, the 7th Hill Tap Room features a boutique of wines as well as fine wine on tap. Tonight, tapped wines are $4 a glass, and bottled wine glasses are just $5 a glass.
Don't forget to get your $10 7th Hill Cup Club cup. And if you're in need of a reminder of what the happy hour specials are.
You see what happened there, by the way? You nailed Cup Club Cup.
I know.
And it tripped you up on the next line.
I basked in the glory of getting that right.
You let your guard down, Tom.
I did
let your guard down. That happened.
But it's a process.
Aren't
we all processing to be a better version of ourselves?
Let's go work on it again. Here you go.
Okay. What, from the
No, go ahead.
the top?
Yeah, why don't you do it from the top?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
You ready?
All right. In 3, 2. Don't forget to get your $10 7th Hill Cup Club cup.
Boom.
And if you need a reminder as to what the 7th Hill Tap Room's happy hour specials are, you can still get there by 7 o'clock. Buy 2 drafts, get the third draft free. Buy 1 delicious 32-ounce crowler, get the second half off. And $5 bonus cash on self-service tap cards for every $10 you spend.
Our thanks to our friends at the 7th Hill Tap Room, right underneath Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, where you can always find the newest and freshest Florida craft beer. All right, then. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
It's summertime, and summertime is the time to go green and save energy. Here are a few simple things you can do right now that will save energy while you try to keep out of the summer heat. First thing, get your air conditioner checked out and change your air filters. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much energy and money you can save. Going away from home on vacation? Why not purchase a programmable thermostat to regulate your air conditioner while you're not at home? Talk about an investment that'll pay energy savings dividends. Make an appointment right away for a free energy audit from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. You never know how much energy you can save until you do it. The City of Tallahassee is offering insulation grants. Why not apply for one? Did you know that the City of Tallahassee offers loans to help with the purchase of solar water heaters? Visit talgov.com/YOU for information on loans and rebates. So stay cool, go green, and save energy all summer long. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility.
I'm Fred Conrad, and I'm a criminal defense lawyer. For almost 20 years, I've been practicing DUI law in Tallahassee. Did you know if you're arrested for a DUI in Florida, your driver's license will be suspended regardless of whether you refuse a breath test or if you give a breath sample over the legal limit? And you only have 10 days from the date of the arrest to contest the suspension. Did you know in Florida, a DUI conviction will stay on your record for the rest of your life? If you've been arrested for a DUI, don't blow it. Call my office and talk to me today, 222-4005, or visit my website, fredconrad.com. I'll personally handle your case.
Do you like video games, live music, dancing, and having fun with your friends? Swing by the new Fire Betty's, located in Midtown on Thomasville Road and 5th Avenue. Not only can it quench your thirst, but now Fire Betty's offers a new fun food menu as well. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. There's something fun going on every night, from trivia on Wednesdays to live music on Fridays, hospitality nights on Thursdays, and unique music video DJ Saturdays. Come take a trip down memory lane and make some new ones too. Happy hour at Fire Betty's is Tuesday through Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. And don't forget about Sunday Fun Day with the NFL Red Zone, liquid brunch and drink specials all day, starting at 3 p.m. For catering or private parties, message Fire Betty's on Facebook.
Can't decide between fresh steak, seafood, or wings? Well, Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway has it all. From center-cut sirloin and original pastas to fresh salads and favorites like Miller's Signature Zingers, tossed in your favorite sauce. Miller's Ale House has a full-service bar featuring more than 75 beers, plus wine and liquors. Bring the family to watch the big game inside or on their covered patio on one of over 60 HD TVs. However you come to relax, you will have a good time and great food at Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Bama versus FSU.
Down the sidelines, touchdown, Seminoles, rumbling all the way to the end zone, touchdown, Bama.
ESPN Tallahassee's Jeff Cameron is heading to Atlanta for Bama Beatdown. Brought to you by Fred Conrad, criminal defense lawyer. Remember, don't blow it. Call 222-4005.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Texans coach Bill O'Brien says he feels strongly about playing the team's season opener as scheduled a week from Sunday against the Jaguars in Houston. Just before today's deadline, the Cavaliers and Celtics finally complete the trade, sending Kyrie Irving to Boston and Isaiah Thomas to Cleveland. The Celtics sent a 2020 second-round draft pick to the Cavs to finish that deal. The college football weekend kicks off tonight. Number 2 Ohio State plays at Indiana. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
It's official. Weekends are now reserved for football. So come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are all there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food. It's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Yay, football. Happy Redemption Thursday. I'm looking at the full slate, and it reminds me, Tom, that we have a brand new advertiser on the program that you and I are actually working with closely, and I'm excited to welcome him in. We have a feature that we'll be doing every week, and it, well, why don't you cue it up? We'll get started.
Jeff, what's your plan with all of this laundry?
Not my job.
Excuse me, get off the couch already.
Wash around the clock's got it. More watching, less washing.
Ooh. Best husband ever.
It is indeed time for more watching, less washing. Yeah, wash around the clock. By the way, if you're wondering, go check it out, TallahasseeLaundry.com. The Easy Laundry? The Easy Laundry is the way to go. You just did it this week.
I did it this week, yeah. I'll get my first delivery back tomorrow. But the linens, the clothes, if you got them all piling up, especially if you've got a house full of kids, Wash Around the Clock can take it from your location and bring it back to you just a couple of days later. And they'll take your instructions about how specifically you want everything washed. They even ask you what detergent you want. It's fantastic.
Glorious indeed, as they'll pick up my laundry tomorrow. Easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. It's dry cleaning and laundry. Save hours and hours of valuable time. That's the whole thing, right? Saving time. I have a father with 2 kids, and my wife and I are forever doing laundry. It's quite annoying. It's a downside of having little ones. There are so many upsides, but the downside is, you know how kids are. Man, going through clothes left and right, then you got to do your own, and you find that you're always in the laundry room, not here, not with this, not with Wash Around the Clock, not when you use Easy Laundry. Go, get it done. You'll see what I'm talking about. Check it out. Go to TallahasseeLaundry.com. You save valuable time, and that's the biggest thing when you're not doing the laundry every week. Not doing laundry saves you that hassle, and heading to the dry cleaner to drop stuff off, you don't have to do that either. They do that as well.
Do the worst thing, seriously, on Saturdays and Sundays, because our washer dryer's on the second floor of the place, and we're downstairs watching football, as you hear the beeping. And I got my dryer, you can't turn it off and auto recycle. Every 10 minutes or so, it goes for about 30 seconds, then stops, and it'll beep 6 times again.
That's not what you do.
Oh, you want to punch the hell out of that thing. I don't need to anymore.
Go to easylaundry.net or call 597-9007. That's 850-597-9007. And by the way, I think in the coming weeks we'll let you know about some discount codes they're going to have for you when you go ahead and get the service. So good times. And how it ties into the show is that, again, the fact that we have a little segment there and have some fun with it is, as far as the more watching and less washing goes. Well, here you go. Tulsa, Oklahoma State tonight, 7:30. 8 o'clock, Ohio State, Indiana. Thus begins the onslaught of college football across the board. If you're wondering, those 2 games, Channel 450 FS1 for Tulsa and Oklahoma State. Ohio State, Indiana tonight, 4:03. That's ESPN. Tomorrow night, Washington and Rutgers, and Utah State and Wisconsin. The respective stations there, 4:50 and 4:03. And then some of the other games that we're going to want to watch before the big tilt between Florida State and Alabama. I would suggest, I actually think it's going to be a fairly interesting game at noon, Maryland and Texas. That's on Channel 450. That's FS1. ACC Network game if you want to check out Miami to start the year. Bethune-Cookman, they should win the game easy, but if you're scouting the enemy, that's where you'll find that. Also, Florida and Michigan, that's ABC 431. That's ABC 431, a channel 431, 3:30 start time for that game. Also, obviously, the big one is ABC, 8 o'clock at night. That's Florida State and Alabama, channel 431.
We're getting to the point of the year where, okay, if you have either in your household or you're relying upon yourself, you better step your game up with the remote, switching the channels back and forth. You got to have somebody who's primed and ready to go because you need to have compelling football on at all times, and you also need to know score and situation of when not to flip away and when to come back to a game. You got to have that clock going in your head that,
you do.
All right, this is a timeout, a coach's timeout, so I need to be back quicker than, say, a quarter break, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. The remote skills are very important this time of year. You better get them straight.
Well, you know what's good? It's interesting, too. I don't know what age it happens when you're a kid, but when you get into sports, when you get into football, when you really kind of pour yourself into watching the games and learning the game and looking at the nuances, et cetera, one of the things that you get excited about is when you know immediately what's a penalty, what isn't, and what the call is going to be in football? Can you remember the first time as a kid you're like, oh, that's holding?
I can't pinpoint it. It was a lot easier as a kid to see a false start or offsides.
Yeah,
but
it was amazing, like where the flag was thrown.
Yeah.
And also how many seconds into the play. Sometimes it's a dead giveaway, of course. But now you have just this tacit understanding of what the call's going to be. You really don't even wait anymore for an official. I mean, the second you see laundry, you can probably guess with great accuracy what that call is going to be just by where it is on the field, how quickly it was thrown. It's hilarious. That's the same thing that happens with a remote. When you get older, you understand the lengths of timeouts. And you even had to incorporate a new one in the last 5 to 10 years, which is the replay. As soon as the little dude walks out with his red shirt, you're like, okay, well, I got time to go do this, and this, but not time to do this.
Well, yeah.
And
you know what type of replay it is, too. And you know if it's going to take a while. Because sometimes before the referee, gets buzzed, you see the play on replay, and one replay shows definitively that it's a catch or it's a fumble or, well, this is coming back. So in that circumstance, okay, I probably have about 2 minutes. But if it's close, you're looking for indisputable evidence, and there is no indisputable evidence, and it's a big-time, review, I got 4 or 5 minutes here. They say it's only going to take 90 seconds, but we all know that's BS.
Greatest achievement in understanding exact timing with a remote or any other endeavor that you so chose to take on in a delay of some sort, penalty call, replay, change of possession, commercial. Which one?
Okay, this one's so easy.
It's an all-timer?
I don't know that it's an all-timer. It's not something, that you celebrate, but you do internally. You not brag about it out loud. But I used to know the NHL, the hockey games, television structure for their commercial breaks. It's under 14, under 10, under 6 minutes in each period. And if there's not a goal, you're not on a power play, or there's not an icing, you go into
this is what I'm talking
break.
about. This is glorious. This is what we do as men.
Okay. So if those 3 whistles or stoppages of plays do not happen, then there is going to be a commercial break at that time. In the old days, icing wasn't part of that. So if there was an icing, it's too bad. You're going to break. So I would know as the puck was sliding down the ice in a playoff game, that we're going to commercial break.
You could stand up before the whistle
and
make your way to whatever it was you were doing, getting a beer, going to the bathroom.
I go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because the lines would be incredible in the playoffs.
You got to beat him to that.
Finals.
You got to know.
So I checked for the linesman to make sure his hand went up that it's going to be icing.
And now you're gone.
I'm gone down the aisle.
Ghost. Time to roll.
I'd be back.
Make it happen.
A full minute and a half before the game actually started back again, and there would be people in the rows around us. They wouldn't be back until 3 or 4 whistles later. They're missing
clueless, man.
Valuable time of actual play.
Drives me nuts. In a football game, when you're in the stands watching the game, there are telltale signs all around you, the moments that are going to be best suited to get up, leave your seat, use the restroom, grab some food and or a beer, whatever it is. And I am always amazed by people waiting until it's almost a universal and obvious time to go, which is the end of a quarter. Don't ever go at the end of a quarter.
Yeah, it tells you.
It's like getting up and going at halftime.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody's not thinking critically in that moment. I almost got burned on a Saturday in September at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill watching Florida State and Boston College.
Oh, I remember it very, very well.
We were sitting over at the high tops, and I got up from the high top because it looked like Jameis was going to be sacked and the first half was expiring. So I'm already walking down the bar towards the bathrooms. And thankfully, there are so many televisions there that there is one just before you get to the hallway for the bathroom. I look up. Jameis had escaped the pressure.
Yes.
Rolled to his right.
I was frantically, almost the way Jameis was, I was searching for you in the sea of humanity while Jameis was searching for a receiver.
Kenny Shaw, in
yes.
fact. Yeah.
And as it was going, I think if we had had cameras on the both of us, you would have noted that it was simultaneous. As he whipped around, I whipped around because I realized greatness was about to happen, and I thought, my man, T. Lizzie is taking a pee, and he's going to miss this.
Yeah.
And I found you from across the bar, and I saw the look of excitement and enthusiasm on your face as you took a gander at the big screen behind the bar.
Man, there was a free rusher there, too, and if he got sacked, there's no way we're getting off another snap. We're out of timeouts. So, yeah, I saw the play happen, kind of a, whoop, hit the brakes, and then I ran back to the high tops, embraced everybody, and you know what? I waited a little bit longer for a pee that day, but it was totally worth it because I got to see Winston DeShaw just before halftime, and then we saw, it was Adazio, right? Adazio's face as they were walking in the locker room.
Oh, he knew right then.
Because they were
I've never asked him about it. I've always wanted to ask him about it. I feel like Adazio and I have gotten close over the years. I mean, I've interviewed him countless times.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Should play the tail end of my interview with him from this ACC meeting there. Kickoff. It's just a love affair. He's like, well, it's good to see you, Jeff.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Where's your guy with the pastry?
Yeah. But did I tell you that what was revealed was that it wasn't just us. If you poll the media members at the ACC kickoff, or at least those that either have a radio show or write and cover a specific team year-round, he is a universal runaway winner of favorite coach to interview. It's not even close. Like, if BC could win titles based on who the media likes to talk to the most, they'd be Alabama.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
That's why, just so you know, again, sort of a peek behind the curtain of those that cover college football in the ACC and the SEC, if BC's having a bad year, this is true. I mean this. I'm not speaking for everybody in the media, but quite a few. If BC's having a bad year, they get off to it, and which they frequently do, but bad for BC. Like, not bad for BC is like they could go 2-10 or 1-11. Good for BC is 7-6, made a bowl. Damn, won this. That's like winning the Super Bowl. That's a great year.
They got Northern Illinois this week. It's a 3 or 4 point game spread wise.
Big game. We get nervous.
I'm going to be watching the
BC's got to win that one. We need you to win that one. Yeah. So for ACC purposes, for Adazio's job security purposes, I need you to win that game.
They were the quest for 6-6 last year, and they achieved the feat.
And they won their bowl game, right? And they
believe so.
Well, they went 7-6, so they had to have. So yeah, they did. And I congratulated him on that. And you kind of thought it sounded almost insulting, but I was like, hey, man, 7-6 at BC.
Oh, God, it sounded really not even subtle.
But he doesn't take it that way. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right.
That's why facial expressions can matter, too, because I don't think you meant it that way, but it just sounded cold-blooded.
Well,
like Steve Spurrier level, blank talking.
Well, because 2 years in a row I've done that with him where you've gone, oh, my God. Well, I came out swinging after being late, too.
Which unbelievable. It's like, good Lord. So he's 5 minutes late for the Adazio interview.
Well,
Adazio's pissed.
I don't know
And
if
he
it was
comes
5
out
minutes.
with a haymaker saying, what can you reasonably expect to be at Boston College? Oh, my God.
I actually asked that question with that wording. And he liked it because he's a man.
Well.
He doesn't get all upset. He leaned in. He was like, oh, that's how we're going to play the game here today, huh? That's right. Adazio, it's kind of funny games we have around here. You thought you were going to be on the aggressive because I'm late, but I'm going to flip the tide.
BC W's and L's over under 5.5
in a minute. But here's what I'll tell you: the collective media, when BC is like 2-4, and they've got a couple of tough games that could go either way coming up. I'm telling you, if you're in a press box, you're going to see people checking for the score of the BC game. Sometimes they'll even gravitate towards the game, as awful as it always is, because their game's in 14-10, 10-7 frequently. So you end up, people are rooting for that bastard. Like, come on, don't blow this. Come on, BC. I need you to escape this win against Presbyterian and move on Big River. You'll be 3-4. Got a shot to get it to 500 next week against Delaware. Let's keep it going, guys.
It's going to be close. The 5.5 number is not a bad number.
Well, let's do it right now. Go ahead. Pull it up.
W's.
Wins.
All right. How you doing?
Losses.
Damn it! We lost. We f***ing super lost, man.
Where do we triumph? Where doth thou fall? You're right. This is going to be close. I don't know that he's going to get there. Right off the bat, this is a big game. 9:30 tomorrow night.
CBS Sports Network, channel 393.
I'll be watching. BC at Northern Illinois, taking on the Huskies, 9:30 p.m.
It's a big damn game.
I'm going to admit something on the air. I got hammered into DeKalb, Illinois one time with a friend of mine. That's where the Huskies play, Tom. Was right there on the Northern Illinois campus. Good times.
What were you doing there? Just visiting a friend?
Yeah. Well, I was with my buddy Todd, and he lived in Rockford, Illinois, and we went to DeKalb, and then we went to Chicago.
Okay. There it is.
That's actually a trip That's crazy. There were a lot of things involved in that trip.
That was the boxing trip?
That was a boxing trip. Yep. Good times. Anyhow, all right. So I still never forget that. That's absurd. Probably highly illegal.
Oh, yeah.
But
you don't even want to rehash it. Yeah, that's just yeah.
Oh, this is a fun world. Anyhow, all right. So here you go. BC at Northern Illinois. What you got?
Well, because they have to win it, I think Adazio is going to coach them up to win the ball game. Give me BC 1-0.
16-13, big win for BC.
Oh, there it is.
16-13, big win.
35-31.
No. 16-13, we'll take it. All right, 1-0, although I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
We got Wake Forest. They're hosting Wake.
That's got to be a win. I mean, come on. It's a 1 o'clock kick at Chestnut Hill.
I'm going to give a 9-7 win over Wake.
There it
9-7. There you go. They're 2-0. Notre Dame, hosting Notre Dame. They lose a slugfest. Sleepy Nooner. They lose this one 17-14.
Guys coaching for his contract, Brian Kelly. They got to be better this year. So, yeah, that's probably a 3-score loss.
All right, so then they get crushed by Clemson on the road. They'll move to 2-2 at that point. Central Michigan at home. They'll win that game, go 3-2, but it won't be an easy win. They never are. They'll win that game 20-10. So at this point, we're what, 3-2?
3-2.
All right, then they're hosting Virginia Tech. They can't score enough to win that game, 3-3. They go to Louisville. They get their head kicked in. They're 3-4. Then then they're at Virginia. Pivotal game on the schedule. A must-win roadie for Boston College. They don't get it. They go to 3-5, and the wheels are coming off for Adazio. They go to 3-6 after getting stomped by Florida State. They host NC State. Neither team scores a touchdown. They lose to NC State 12-9. They're 3-7. They'll beat UConn. They'll go to 4-7. They'll beat Syracuse. They'll go to 5-7. They won't go bowling. He'll keep his job with 5 wins. But there are a lot of kind of coin flip moments in there. 7-5 could happen. Not likely.
That Virginia game on October 21st.
It's a hell of a tilt.
Yeah, because it's the meat in the bread of the sandwich is Louisville and Florida State. That's just oof.
You
buddy.
got to beat Virginia, but you have to do it on the road.
Yeah, Bronco. It's no more Mike London.
I don't think they're going to get there.
So you think you're going to take the under on 5.5 wins?
They're going under 500. They're not getting to 5. They're not going bowling.
Maybe their APR is good enough that they will go bowling.
No, they're not going bowling. They're done. That team's not going anywhere.
You have 5 wins. There are certain slots for 5-win teams.
Tough year, BC. Damn it, man. I was in such a good mood. Now I know almost with great certainty they've got no chance. Because we even gave them some wins we're not real sure about.
Central Michigan. Yeah.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Blake Culpepper with Miller's Tree Service. Summertime is here and storm season is right around the corner. We offer free consultations with a certified arborist where we meet with you and advise you on which trees are healthy, diseased, dead, or ones that may need trimming or even removal.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out
Give us a call at 894-TREE.
If you haven't stopped into Tallahassee's favorite hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill on North Monroe Street, you're missing out.
Hey, it's me, Courtney.
Hey, it's me, Marissa.
Last but not least, I'm Kim, and we're the girls from the Fourth Quarter.
Okay, girls, there are lots of great nights to stop in at the Fourth Quarter, including Monday, where it's happy hour all day, including 2-for-1 Wells. There's Tuesday night trivia with Professor Jimmy, where you can win money. What other night should we stop by the Fourth Quarter?
It's Kim again. Join me Saturday and Sunday mornings for Bubbles and Brunch from 7 to 2. $18.99, all you can drink mimosas and Bloody Marys, and it includes breakfast.
Hey, Riss here. Come join me for lunch. We have over 20 lunch specials for just $7.50, and that includes a drink.
I'm Courtney. Visit me on Monday nights when we have 2-for-1 Wells, calls, and domestic drafts all night.
Don't miss out on the girls of the Fourth Quarter. Pick your favorite night and stop in. Say hi to the girls at 2033 North Monroe Street, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill, Tallahassee's favorite hangout. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac is back at it, supporting the High School Scholar Athlete of the Month on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Listen every Wednesday to hear our monthly winners. Check them out at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMCCadillac.com.
O'Reilly. It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Castrol High Mileage Motor Oil and a MicroGuard filter for the price of conventional, just $24.99. Plus, earn double points on this purchase during O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Do you like video games, live music, dancing, and having fun with your friends? Swing by the new Fire Betty's, located in Midtown on Thomasville Road and 5th Avenue. Not only can it quench your thirst, but now Fire Betty's offers a new fun food menu as well. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., there's something fun going on every night. From trivia on Wednesdays to live music on Fridays, hospitality nights on Thursdays, and unique music video DJ Saturdays. Come take a trip down memory lane and make some new ones too. Happy hour at Fire Betty's is Tuesday through Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. And don't forget about Sunday Fun Day with the NFL Red Zone, liquid brunch and drink specials all day, starting at 3 p.m. For catering or private parties, message Fire Betty's on Facebook.
Front Row Knowles with Tom Block and Keith Jones. Brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener and presented by Hobson Chevrolet of Cairo, Georgia. Wednesday nights at 6 on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hey, Dad, did you see me make that last play? We're unstoppable this season.
Yeah, you're doing great on the field this year, but how'd you do on your test today?
Well...
Hi, I'm Lance Davis. Let Engaged Academics be your answer to helping your athlete balance their academics and athletics. Visit engagedacademics.org for more information. That's engagedacademics.org.
Redemption Thursday on The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by FranksAutoWorld.com. Ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at FranksAutoWorld.com. Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Texans coach Bill O'Brien says he feels strongly about playing the team's season opener as scheduled a week from Sunday against the Jaguars in Houston. Just before today's deadline, the Cavaliers and Celtics finally complete the trade, sending Kyrie Irving to Boston and Isaiah Thomas to Cleveland. The Celtics sent a 2020 second-round draft pick to the Cavs to finish that deal. The college football weekend kicks off tonight. Number 2 Ohio State plays at Indiana. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
It's official. Weekends are now reserved for football. So come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are all there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food. It's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street. Ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at FranksAutoWorld.com.
the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always, don't miss anything. But if you do, remember this, all 3 hours are going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. That's a good thing. Hello, Redemption Thursday. Good to see you again. Woo-hoo. Football tonight. Couple of games. Neither of them are all that compelling. I hate to damper it. I'm going to watch. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited that football's back. But Oklahoma State, Tulsa, Ohio State, Indiana, maybe interesting, doubtful. I don't know why I do. I always hope that game's going to be good. Just you start a game. There are some games, you know what it is? I think early in the season, it's not so much that you need a blockbuster like what you get on Saturday night, Russ and Alabama, or even a game like Michigan, Florida, which is compelling. But what you want is a game where you think that the other team, the underdog, the one that is most assuredly the underdog, has a chance to win that reels you in. For example, neither of us would take BYU to beat LSU, but you'll concede there's a chance they could beat LSU, and thus you're kind of drawn to it. Whereas Indiana ain't beating Ohio State, period. They're not. You're watching just to see how close the game is, not because you think Indiana can win, but what does Ohio State do in terms of the total? What does Ohio State do? Maybe if you got a betting line. This is why you have to gamble, kids. It's important to gamble. You can infuse life into games in which there is none. You can make a game in which somebody is a 40-point favorite, a very intriguing matchup. If you gamble illegally, you put a little juice on it, as they say.
That's true. Or if you gamble for charity, I mean, it could work in that case
Which
as well.
is what we do on Redemption Thursday, non-perishable food items. Well done. Go to ESPN Tallahassee to see my picks. Bet your items, honor system, do it up, do the right thing. Further explanation later. But, yeah, that's what you do, and that's a good thing. Also, like, for example, it's the only way, short of being a fan of that team, that you could watch a game like, say, Penn State-Akron.
Over under 6.5 plays that you'll watch between FAMU and Arkansas tonight, 8 p.m. SEC Network.
Well, here's the problem. I watched all of Florida A&M's game last week, and I was anxious for Florida A&M to get off to a great start because they finished the season really well last year, and I think things are turning around for FAMU, and I want to see that happen. But this is not a fair competition. This is a money game, and it's a game where they're going solely to go and collect that check and come back so that they can better compete in the MEAC. And I don't watch those games for any team that's in them, and I don't like when we play them, and I don't like them, period. They're non-competitive games. It's not fair to the kids playing the game. I get why it has to be done. I'm not critical of the schools that do it. In fact, Jimbo Fisher has brought this up many times. It's what helps fund the athletic department for the year. So a lot of these teams have to do this, and they serve a purpose, but I don't have to watch it. I won't watch any plays of that game. Zero. There's no sense in watching that. It's like watching, and I'm not trying to belittle FAMU or any other small school, but it's a little bit like watching, a 250-pound man take on a kid. What are we doing? It's lopsided. There's no chance that anything can be gained from this game. So I won't watch it. And it's not a moral thing. I'm just not going to watch it. It's not competitive.
I hear you. I was just wondering, if you at least take a peek and see.
No.
No peeking.
Well, listen, I watched almost all, like I said, of the game last week, and what you recognize is that those are very different divisions. That's just all there is to it. It's like Florida A&M and schools like that. And I don't just mean MEAC schools. I mean any of the small schools taking on titans, if you will, from the Power Five. The caliber of athlete that goes to that school can't compete with the caliber of athlete that's at an Arkansas or a Florida State. And, you see that across the board.
Well, you can have a discussion about that program and say, man, they have a lot of tall weapons on the outside at receiver, and they did a great job of controlling the trenches, really dominating the trenches for good stretches of that game.
Which is something that can't happen in this game against Arkansas.
Correct, but it could still be a compelling product, and it was last week. I mean, first game of the year.
Yeah, without question,
while recognizing it's a different level, you're still watching and saying, well, that was good football right there. Way to be, fam.
I like this tweet. Football season. period. At Jay Cameron Show says, BC has a big damn game. 6-year-old think that sounds like fun to repeat. Big damn game. Hashtag I laughed. Because you have a sense of humor, and I'm proud of you for that. I'm sure that every now and then adults cringe. Kids in the car. I'm not the best about that. I'll admit it. I never have been. I don't even make bones about that. I can make it difficult on you parents. I apologize. Kind of. But
yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I've never done a show that's catered to kids. But here's the thing. I like that she has a sense of humor because a lot of parents don't.
Hey, kids, do you like cigarettes? They can cure cancer.
A big damn game. BC does. At Jay Cameron Show, every year I hope IU wins as well. Every year I'm left disappointed. It's true, Brett, and we go way back. I've known you since I started this program, and IU has always been your other team, and I know that you have hoped, but you're hoping against hope. IU is not going to be good, and they won't be good again this year.
Percentage chance IU covers. How about that instead?
Better than they'll be good. And I would rather be, by the way, I'd rather be IU and an IU fan than an Illinois fan who has to watch Lovey in his antiquated way of coaching roll out there and give the Fighting Illini little to no chance to be any good at all.
Illinois football under Lovey Smith, where every Saturday is a throwback Saturday.
I would just think, man, it doesn't get much bleaker than this. I'm going to go watch my beloved Illini, and I don't know why.
They're not really fighting.
At Jay Cameron Show, you know who always seemed like he'd be a good guy? John Feinstein. Did I misread that? Thank you, Mario. He knows.
Oh, it's Mario.
It's
okay,
so well done. So well done.
You
That's
think Chris Fowler's the salt of the earth?
No. But I don't know Chris Fowler. I've met him once, and we haven't spent any quality time together for me to give you an answer. So I don't want to do that.
We could be wrong. You never know.
Seems highly unlikely, but I do not know. At Jay Cameron Show, Georgia Southern did beat Florida. That was a David versus Goliath that was fun to watch. Well, Jason, we often bring up that game, and we remember it fondly. But I don't know that it was David versus Goliath. That was a 4-8 Florida team, a 4-6 team at the time. That was a Florida team that could have lost to almost anybody with a pulse, and did, including one that didn't complete a pass.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Great odds and fast payouts. MyBookie.ag is a no-brainer.
Listen, kid, how much will it cost for you to be quiet?
How much you got?
Try your luck today at MyBookie.ag and use promo code RADIO.
The
kitchen is the go-to place in the house, and the Home Depot is the go-to place for the kitchen. With 20% off custom kitchen cabinets now from top brands like Thomasville, KraftMaid, and American Woodmark. That puts new kitchen cabinets well within reach, and free design services make your kitchen upgrade even easier. It's the heart of your home. Make it the start of something terrific. With 20% off custom kitchen cabinets now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through September 10th. See store associate for details.
Football season is in full swing, and so is AAA One Transmission. AAA One Transmission is locally owned and operated by Tim Pridgett, who's been servicing the Tallahassee area for over 37 years. Brakes, transmissions, electrical systems, tune-ups, and battery checks. No matter what ails your vehicle, AAA One Transmission can make your automobile healthy again. Don't put off your auto repairs. Stop it at 1023 North Monroe Street or call them at 222-2532.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility, says it's summertime, and summertime is the time to go green and save energy. Here are a few simple things you can do right now that will save energy while you try to keep out of the summer heat. First thing, get your air conditioner checked out and change your air filters. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much energy and money you can save. Going away from home on vacation? Why not purchase a programmable thermostat to regulate your air conditioner while you're not at home? Talk about an investment that'll pay energy savings dividends. Make an appointment right away for a free energy audit from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. You never know how much energy you can save until you do it. The City of Tallahassee is offering insulation grants. Why not apply for one? Did you know that the City of Tallahassee offers loans to help with the purchase of solar water heaters? Visit talgov.com/YOU for information on loans and rebates. So stay cool, go green, and save energy all summer long. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, America's #1 public utility.
Football season is here, and it's time to score big and get in on the action with MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is an industry-leading website and the best place for you to cash in on all the insane last-minute drives, huge upsets, and heart-pounding finishes. Join now, and MyBookie will match your deposit with up to a 100% bonus. They have in-game live betting on nearly every sporting event, plus a user-friendly mobile site so you never miss a single play. Are you sick and tired of getting the runaround when you ask for a payout? Come join MyBookie today. With decades of expertise, no hassle payouts, and no fine print, you'll experience the greatest customer service in the business, guaranteed. Use promo code RADIO to activate your bonus of up to 100%. Call 844-900-2387 or visit mybookie.ag to open an account. That's 844-900-BETS, or go online to mybookie.ag and use promo code RADIO. Win with the best, only at MyBookie. Sign up today.
Noel fans, ESPN Tallahassee's official home for FSU watch parties in 2017 is Miller's Ale House on Appalachian Parkway.
Francois to throw for the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Seminoles are going for the win.
The ESPN Tallahassee team will be on hand for every Seminole away football game with giveaways, a chance to win some great prizes, and to have a good time.
To the pylon. He's into the end zone for an FSU touchdown.
So, when the Noles hit the road, join us at Miller's Ale House on the Parkway, the official FSU watch party headquarters of your home of the best in Seminole sports talk. 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Authority. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
But yeah, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. So, I like the way you did that. You're going to lower that? Don't worry about it. It's all right, buddy. He's talking about a bird.
All right.
Oh, man. All right. So, I do want to say that I have absolutely been riveted by the tennis. Anybody watching the tennis? Am I the only one? You're watching it, right?
I watched Tiafoe Federer, but I did not watch last night, no.
Let's get on it, buddy.
You caught me off guard there.
Let's get on the tennis watch, buddy. Aside from our game, the game you're most excited to watch with football returning tonight, not tonight's games, obviously. Games you're most excited to watch.
Oh, man. Well, I'm excited for our wagers, Michigan and Florida, and that's a great lead-in game. I mean, what a great opening act for the main event, right? Way to go, Florida. Way to take the lesser pay and be the opening card.
The warm-up act.
That's right. You get the crowd warm.
You're on the come a little bit. You've got an opportunity. It's nice of you.
They're getting to their seats. They're getting their popcorn and
Bless
their beer.
your heart.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, good job. Hey, sing your heart out. Just because there are a few people missing in the stands there, you go ahead and sing your heart out.
You're 30 seconds to Mars.
That's right.
That's what you are.
You live your truth.
And we're the Beatles.
That's right.
That's
okay.
It is.
That's the way it works.
Virginia Tech, West Virginia, too. And that's the other one I'm really interested in on Sunday night.
Really good game. Yeah. When I was looking at the full slate, Michigan-Florida stood out as my favorite game that's not Alabama-Florida State. But I also, just because I don't know what either team really is, and we do have a wager on it, as you pointed out, I am fascinated by that game. And then I also, there's another part of me, I'm very, very interested to see what Georgia is against Appalachian State. I can't, but that's only a 14.5-point spread.
Curious, huh?
That is curious. And Georgia, I think, we'll see, maybe it's a little early, but I think Georgia's going to be good. I think they're going to win the East, and I think they're going to be a good team. But we've kind of come on Georgia for a while now.
Right, the southeastern Wisconsin, yes?
Yeah. That's the way, they've achieved enough. There's feathers in their cap that you can't say they've never done anything. That's true of Wisconsin, too, and their appearances in the Rose Bowl, et cetera, and all that. But perennially tint of suspicion type team.
Never scaring the playoff or, never been in the BCS title game, that kind of thing.
Well, also, I should just say this, and immediately this time of year turns into sort of a bigger picture thing, and that is I'm not interested in a particular game this weekend, but I think the team I'm most interested in college football, because I want to see if they can beat Alabama, if they're capable, if they're equipped, and also just what they are, because they're going to get to see a team out of the ACC of power, of note, almost immediately. Auburn intrigues me. Jarrett Stidham's, we think, going to change that offense. Oddly enough, defensively, they really were very good last year and kind of surprised us. Auburn is the team that I'm most interested in out of the ACC and out of some of the teams that maybe we don't talk about on a regular basis. Auburn
outside of the ACC, you're talking about.
Not leaving.
Yeah. I knew what you were saying.
Yeah.
To me, that's the game Auburn-Clemson. I keep having to remind myself is not this week. I constantly thinking it's this week because they played each other 3 times in the last decade in week 1. So, I feel like we should be watching Clemson and Auburn either on Sunday night or whatever. But I'm really looking forward to that game in week 2. I mean, Clemson, what a fact-finding mission you get in weeks 2 and 3.
Are you going to be nervous? Are you going to be nervous if Clemson wins that game?
If they beat Auburn? No. One way or the other. After Clemson faces Auburn and Louisville back-to-back weeks, I'll know to be afraid or not.
Auburn, well, if you're Gus Malzahn, you could be afraid if you don't beat Clemson. Because if you're Gus Malzahn and you lose 5 games this year, peace. That's a tenuous hold that he has on that job currently.
That's a name we didn't bring up. That's a good point.
Yeah. I think that's a tenuous. Last year's defensive effort kind of maybe raised eyebrows. Then they get the transfer of Jarrett Stidham, who was considering going to Florida. And, oh, by the way, that quietly was kind of the bigger news item of the offseason as it pertains to how it could affect us at Florida State. If Jarrett Stidham had chose to go to Florida, we would be having a very different conversation about what was possible for the Gators right now. But he didn't. He chose Auburn.
But it also offers up a fun talking point for Auburn fans who are tired of Gus Malzahn because they can say, kind of tongue-in-cheek, well, he's got his quarterback this year, so we'll see how Gus does. But he's got his guy, so I feel pretty excited about this year to see what Stidham brings to the table.
Well, I want Auburn to be good because I want the Iron Bowl at the end of the year to be legendary and for it to be very, very fascinating, and that it could be a game where Alabama has to win it to make the college football playoffs, especially after losing to Florida State, Tom.
Oh, is that what you're picking?
No. But all of the tweeters are. All of the people who call me a traitor and want to take the card.
See, I feel like I'm being bold saying it's a toss-up. That's that. I feel like I'm being bold enough doing that.
Well, I'm in a no-win situation. if Alabama beats us soundly, it's not like I can come in here and go, see, told you. Not you, but the audience.
But you will.
I should. I ought to, but I won't do that because I won't be happy about it.
I got that in writing.
Well,
now.
I mean, certainly the evidence will be self-evident. You'll be able to see what happened. And hopefully at home, if you see that happen and you took issue with me over the last 2 weeks, you'll say, boy, that Cameron, he's been right for 20 years. I should just leave it alone.
Oh, jeez.
You know, and I got you. It's okay. It's all right. Every now and then you get a little froggy and then you realize why I'm here.
And if Florida State wins, then
I'll come in here and gladly apologize. I mean, I
that's
haven't
where it's
gotten
a
them all
no-win.
right. Yeah, that's where it's a no-win.
Yeah.
That's right. No, that would be a win, and I'd be happy to apologize. Very happy. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Like mango lime, raspberry citrus, midnight grape, and orange citrus. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Fuel with flavor.
RCD Shell knows how to keep you cool and refreshed. All 20-ounce Pepsi and Mountain Dew products are 2 for $2.22. That's right, 2 for $2.22. And 28-ounce Gatorade is buy one, get one free. It's more fun with Pepsi and Dew, so bring on the bubbles with these cool prices at RCD Shell.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, I'm Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. Some roofers are like a bad boyfriend. They make lots of promises, but in reality, they're just cheap. They don't own up to their mistakes, and they leave you with a lot of regret. Parker Brothers Roofing stands behind every installation, and if a mistake is made, we own it and fix it. Our customers never have to worry about being left behind for the next job. At Parker Brothers, it's quality that builds our quantity. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
College football programs know the importance of recruiting. If they want to compete at the highest level, they need to bring on the best talent, people who have the skills and drive to be a success. The same is true in business. Recruiting is vital. And with ZipRecruiter, you'll have a smarter and simpler way to assemble your own winning team. With just one click, you can post your job to over 100 job boards. Then ZipRecruiter's matching technology identifies relevant talent fast. 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within 24 hours. And your ZipRecruiter dashboard helps keep everything in one place. So it's easy to review and rank the candidates with the best experience. You'll be building a powerhouse program in no time. Choose the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Florida State Seminoles.
For your free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles. ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles. Once again, for a free trial, go to ZipRecruiter.com/GoNoles.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
You know what I think is interesting, too? As you get closer and closer to the weekend's games, obviously we got games starting tonight. I don't know about every, but almost everybody you hear talk about this game, this Alabama-Florida State game, it's easier a month ago, it's easier a week ago to say, I think Florida State can win that game. I think Florida State's going to win that game. For national pundits, like the people that are from afar, they'll say that further out from the actual game being played. But the closer you get, where you're a dynasty, where you're a dominant team, where Florida State would get this, and they did have it at one time, the benefit of the doubt. Even with all the unknowns, they return 11 starters on total on both sides of the ball. But that's obviously a loss of 11 starters. And anytime, meaning Alabama, if you lost, out of 22 starters, you lost 11, people would be really concerned at most places. But Alabama, and this is where you got to give them credit and where Nick has earned it, the closer you get to the game, they get the benefit of the doubt. People who want to pull the trigger on Florida State, you'll hear it. You can hear it in their voice. But then at the end of the day, it's hard to go against Alabama. And they're not wrong. It makes you mad. You want somebody to be bold. But you get why the default fallback is just to say, well, I'm going to go with Alabama. Because how could you not? I mean, they started a true freshman quarterback a year ago, had question marks coming into the season, won every game they played, except for the last one on the last or second to last play of the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, that's why, because I get a lot of people asking, well, why won't you just pick them? Or why don't people... If you're being very honest with yourself, it's just hard to go against what you know to be true, which is that every single year Alabama is really, really good. They're not unbeatable, but they're close to unbeatable.
Is this the most talented team they played in week one in the string of, neutral site type games that Alabama's played? I think absolutely that's the case here. I mean, the Michigan team they played, that was a down Michigan team. They didn't have a prayer.
Right.
USC didn't even have its quarterback, and they were losing other games than more than the Alabama game. And Bama was ready-made defensively last season. They were peaking from a scholarship standpoint, upperclassmen experience. I mean, they were ready to go out the gates.
They carried the team for sure.
West Virginia, I mean, that was a close-ish game. It was a sloppy game, but West Virginia never posed any threat.
No.
I mean, honestly, I think in the string of season openers where Alabama's played and made tons of money, millions and millions of dollars in Atlanta, Texas, wherever, this is the most talented top-to-bottom team. This is the most experienced team to go along with it that Alabama's had to face in this situation. And we have learned in the last year or two that the upper echelon of this conference, of the ACC, is capable of going toe-to-toe with Alabama to the point that you could argue Clemson could have won both games.
Yeah.
You could argue Alabama could have won both games.
Sure.
But it's a coin toss, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that's a fair thing. That's why I don't think Florida State's devoid of a chance to win the game. It's not that I can't see them winning the game, right? I don't think it helps that Matthew Thomas, who is eligible now, missed all of that time. You would like to have had your leading tackler in camp getting reps tackling people. It's a little, especially in a game that is going to be this physical. So that's troublesome. I'm not in the position right now where I give Charles Kelly the benefit of the doubt. I want to, but he just doesn't get it from me right now, and I'm being brutally honest about that. There are games that Florida State's defense has just looked completely lost, and it's really frustrating, especially when they've had superior talent. The other thing is what I keep coming back to, and you've heard it really probably, for a week now in my voice or 2 weeks now, is I fail, and if I'm getting this wrong, it's just because I cannot trust the offensive line. And the people who are picking Florida State, if you look at people who cover Florida State and have a voice, whether you're looking at warchant.com or you're looking at Knowles 247 or Tomahawk Nation or people like Jason Staples that I've known for years, everybody's weighed in on this game. But the ones who weigh in favor of Florida State and are devoid of emotion believe that Florida State's offensive line is going to be a lot better than it was a year ago. Okay, well, that makes sense. If you believe that, if you believe it's going to be a lot better up front, then you could legitimately pick Florida State to win the game. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure they will be a lot better than they were a year ago, and I think they're going to have to be to win this game.
Really quickly, just for the talking point that's been, regurgitated about Alabama and openers. Here are the openers under Nick Saban and his time. All right, 52-6 over Western Carolina, whatever. 34-10 over number 9 Clemson in 2008. That Clemson team was coached by Tommy Bowden and went 7-6.
Right.
So it's an overhyped Clemson team. They win by 24.
Sure.
Number 7 Virginia Tech in 2009. That was a good game. 34-24. I can vaguely
remember
recall
that
this
game.
game.
Sure.
This is when we had no defense that season. Virginia Tech ended up going 10-3 that season. San Jose State, Kent State. Then they played number 8 Michigan. We all knew that was going to be a bloodbath. That was Brady Hoke. I mean, garbage. 41-14. Took care of business. 2013 Vautech, a far different Hokie team than in the latter part of the last decade. 35-10 winners. West Virginia 33-23. West Virginia wasn't ranked in that game. Wisconsin, number 20 Wisconsin, who would end up going 10-3 in 2015. 35-17, and then last year's 52-6 drubbing. I think the way people talk about Alabama's performance in openers, it's described as though Alabama plays true top 10 opponents every year that end up being good teams, and they're beating them by 30. That's just the way it's presented, and that's not so if you listen and look at those scores and at what the teams actually were year to year. So again, I say, this Florida State team at number 3 in the country, as talented as it is, experienced as it is by far the best of any of those previous teams that Alabama's
Go
played.
through Florida State's openers. Florida State's openers starting with Ole Miss a year ago, where they give up a gazillion points and find a way to battle back and win the game, but look very shaky.
I don't have a list in front of me like that because it was the Nick Saban talking point, so there was a nice, neat little list. But Ole Miss, yes. Second half from hell for Ole Miss, and we come back win that game.
Right. So the point is that, Florida State, better team, much better team than Ole Miss, more talent than Ole Miss, et cetera, couldn't make a stop.
Nor could Alabama, in the first half of the Alabama-Ole Miss game.
Okay. We're just talking about openers.
Sure, but we're talking about what that team was in September versus what it was by the end of the year, which was decimated by injuries.
That's true.
Alabama's performance very similar to Florida State's last year.
Okay, so Florida State's performance in the previous opener. I'm just going through openers.
A lot of FCS / low-level FBS teams.
Oklahoma State, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You could do this with this team as well. You can look at Florida State when they've had time off for games, et cetera, and you go, ooh.
But nobody's talking about Florida State, the dominant team that plays in week 1. They're talking about Alabama as though this is some sort of absolute.
Well, just because he's undefeated in openers, right? He's 10-0 or whatever he is.
Right, but the way they weighted is
Jimbo's undefeated too in openers, right? I think that's correct.
The way they weighted is almost like it's something that Florida State cannot overcome.
That's the benefit of the doubt conversation that I was talking about. That because they win. So I think the stat is in regular season games, if you remove any postseason games, just regular season games, outside of Nick's first season where they were so bad and lost to Louisiana Monroe, lost to us, I don't think he's lost a regular season game by more than 7 points, or maybe the number's 10, but he hasn't. They don't. They're always, the games that make us all second guess any number of teams, they don't happen to Alabama. That's why. Like, there is you'll never see, you haven't seen under Nick, Alabama pull a game like we had last year, Louisville. But that game doesn't exist.
I think the way it goes down, though, is people kind of forget the circumstances of those games. They remember that they were top 10 matchups, but that would be akin to us telling you without any kind of wry smile that in 2013 we beat a top 10 Miami Hurricanes football squad 41-14.
Right.
We all kind of wink, nod, and go, well, I mean, they were top 10, but let's be real here.
Sure.
They struggled with Wake Forest the week before.
Mightily.
Had to come back in order for us to get College Game Day and the 8 p.m. kick. So that wasn't a real top 10 team. So when you hear these stats cited, just remember, yes, there is no doubt about the consistency of Alabama, but the way that it's talked about, the things that they accomplish, I think it's like talking about Michael Jordan 20 years out, like he never missed a shot. They are vulnerable, and we are as loaded as a team has been for them in week 1.
I think, too, that the frustration that stems from playing a team that is, without question, the most dominant team in college football over the last 10 years wears on you because you have all summer to have to hear about how great Alabama's been, and you get tired of hearing it, and you find it after a while repulsive. It just doesn't mean, for me, what I do is I temper that anger because I get angry about it too, and I think, good Lord, again with this. But then I recognize, well, just because I'm tired of hearing it doesn't mean it isn't true. And that's what they've been. That's the frustration. Think about the rest of the SEC. Listen, again, I'm indifferent to Alabama other than they're in our way in recruiting and in national championships and competing at the highest level. So Alabama's not a natural rivalry. I don't care one way or the other about them. They're the next opponent. I'd like to beat them, and I'm tired of hearing about them. But the same way I was tired of hearing about Derek Jeter's Yankees when they were winning World Series. There's just an unescapable, they're good, they're going to be in the playoffs type thing. I guess the point that I would make with Alabama is that when Nick got to the SEC, it was the best league in college football, and they had the most talent, I guess, on the sidelines. They had the best coaches. He's run them all off. They're all gone, and the league is not nearly as good as it once was. That's the level of dominance they've shown. That's what we're up against. Now, we're not up against the team that throttled somebody 6 years ago. We're up against this team, and that's the fair comeback to that, is that history's there, Jeff. That's fine. Yeah, acknowledge it. They're the best team in college football. Gotcha. But we're not playing that team that won this championship or won that game or beat up this team. We're playing this team this year that's replacing a lot of guys. You're right. I hear you. I hear you. I'm not at a place where I don't give them the benefit of the doubt. In a toss-up matchup, I give them the benefit of the doubt.
We talk about catching teams in the right year. You can't know when you schedule. You can have an idea of how your program's going to look, but you can't really know about what players are going to purge after 3 seasons, go to the NFL, or injuries or busts or unexpected positive developments. Wouldn't you rate this as a better time for us to catch Alabama?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, this is a better scenario than a 50-50 proposition. We're catching them when we have a little bit more organization, top to bottom, a little bit more experience, returning skill, top to bottom. We don't have a whole hell of a lot of question marks.
No.
They have more than we do. Is that fair?
I think so. I think the biggest question mark we have is the one that I don't want to have going into a game against Alabama, who every year has a top 10 defense, and that is, how are we going to be on the offensive line? And I guess the easy thing to say is, if we're good, then the offensive line, that is, well, then, yeah. If you said Florida State's offensive line is going to be good, Jeff, it's not in question. There's nothing to worry about. It's a very good offensive line. Because of what you're pointing out about the other question marks, yeah, I'd feel real good and I'd pick us.
I know we've been up against the edge for a couple of weeks now with spirited conversations about this game, but I think it's also fair to say, on Monday, this game could go in such a way where Florida State loses and we're excited about what this team could be.
Absolutely.
The offensive line could play well enough. You have some fumble luck go against you, or a couple of tip passes or something crazy. Football being football, and the result isn't what you want, but you saw everything you needed to see. You could check all the boxes of your concerns. We could lose the game, and on Monday you'd still an 0-1 Florida State team. You're saying, okay, we'll probably see those bitches again.
Wouldn't that be great? I mean, that's the ideal circumstance, short of winning the game.
Right.
Short of winning the game, that is the ideal set of circumstances where you go, man, I got a little unlucky to lose that game. We're every bit as good as them. Let's go. Let's go play football and play them again. They can win that battle. We'll take the war. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. The other thing that worries me and that bothers me a little bit is, and it's again coming back to the same segment, Wilson Bell transferring. He's going to start at Auburn. Would have been nice to have Wilson Bell here.
Well, hey, man, apparently he wasn't part of the brotherhood of the offensive line. Landon Dickerson, apparently, You talked to him. The innuendo of they didn't all get along.
Yeah. I would have liked to have found a way for him to get along at 355 pounds.
But then again, what's Auburn's offense? Maybe the Auburn's offense sucks. Who knows?
Maybe. He's a big son of a gun. We could use him.
You would have felt better with Wilson Belt left tackle?
I just, at 6'5", 350, I feel pretty good. I feel like, it's a decent option to have. Would have been nice at the very least rotationally and from a competition standpoint.
Could it be that the defense plays well and the offensive line is so poor that we're not talking about Charles Kelly at all on Monday, but perhaps another one?
I actually think that's more likely. He doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, and I've said that, but I do think, if you pushed me on this, are they going to play well against Alabama? Yes, they are. They're going to play good defense against Alabama.
Well, all right. There we go.
Well, but then I still have my problem over here on this side of the ball.
I don't know. What are you saying?
Yeah, I think they're going to play. I've told you, the best player on the field Saturday night is Derwin James. He's the best player on the field. He's going to play like the best player on the field. And we're going to be talking about him after this game regardless.
Damn you and your complex analysis, sir.
It's not even that complex. I don't trust our offensive line to block Alabama. That's the end of the story. I think we're going to play well on defense, but I don't give the benefit of the doubt to Charles Kelly, and I do give the benefit of the doubt to Alabama. That's the simple analysis of why I'm picking Alabama.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Calling all golfers. Labor Day is your last chance to save huge this summer at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. With deals in every department this Friday through Monday. You'll save up to 20% on apparel, footwear, golf bags, and carts. The more you spend, the more you save. Bridgestone E6 soft and speed golf balls are on sale for $19.99 a dozen. And you can pick up the Garmin S2 watch for only $119.99. Don't miss these deals and more, 4 days only, at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Open Labor Day from 9 to 5.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Downright giddy. So, You going to watch football tonight? You going to watch Tulsa and Oklahoma State? You going to watch Indiana and Ohio State?
You're damn right I am. Yes, sir. I'm going to watch those football games, see that they count for something, and think about a day when it's 65 and I'm watching those Thursday night football games.
Woo,
you know?
Outside somewhere, right? For the slate, by the way, it's Tulsa, Oklahoma State. If you must know, Oklahoma State obviously heavy favorites there at minus 18. You know, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I getting into this without even – I mean, this is ideal. Let's cue it up, buddy. A little What's on Tap.
Ready for a cold one? Proof Brewing Company in Railroad Square Art Park presents What's on Tap. So, Jeff, what'll it be?
College damn football. That's what it'll be. Woo! Yeah, what a glorious What's on Tap that is, huh? Our thanks to Proof Brewing Company for coming on board to sponsor What's on Tap. Proof Brewing Company and For the Table Hospitality present the 5th Annual Florida Tap Invitational, September 29th and 30th. One of North Florida's largest two-day beer festivals. VIP and general admission tickets are available online at FloridaTapInvitational.com. Yeah, this is an easy one, guys. Fall back into this one. So 7:30, Oklahoma State, Tulsa, Ohio State, Indiana at 8 o'clock. Indiana is always a profound disappointment. You always kind of, it'd be nice if Indiana was ever any good at college football.
That number is 20 and a half, depending upon where you look. That's an interestingly low number for what figures to be, you know, an Ohio State team that's going to make the college football playoff and is going to be a contender to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I think they will be a contender to win the whole thing. And, you know, it's first games of the year. It's always hard to know, spread-wise, what teams are going to look like or how they're going to play it. Are they going to play it to impress and run up a score and get a number, or are they going to get their big lead, get some of those starters out of there, and, you know, kind of ease their way in?
We've talked about it with the Louisville team and you know, what their MO is. They have no problem beating teams into the ground that they're better than.
They'll drop 70 or 80 points if they can.
No problem running up the stats for Lamar Jackson and all that kind of stuff. Ohio State will lay an egg now. They've had some rough times with the aforementioned Indiana in years past.
Yeah, they have.
There are Big Ten games 2 or 3 times a year where in the third quarter you go, Ohio State, are you drunk? What the hell is wrong with you?
Remember when they had some offensive line struggles? Certainly they lost at home to Virginia Tech. They struggled with Navy one year. And
Same year, those back-to-back weeks.
And then they went on to win the whole thing.
Yes.
Which was unforeseeable. So you go back to Lee Sterling, what he says every year. I bet I'll say it tomorrow when we have him on. You know, if you're a person who likes to, I call them sporting guys or gals, who likes to gamble. Oh, so many people, and I've been guilty of this, and Ohio State coming up reminds me of it. You know, if you see a team play terribly, especially twice at the beginning of a season, then you kind of really the rest of the way, you can't help yourself. You can't shake that initial impression. And you think the first impressions, right? You think, well, they're going to get better, but they're not real good. And the next thing you know, you're in week 10. You're like, they're not even the same team. It's possible.
Yeah, this happens in pick'em leagues too. It's not even, you know, if you're trying to get one over on old Uncle Vegas up the the river. However, you know, if you're in a pick'em league and you see a team suck for 2 weeks, you go, well, they suck. You know, so it's let's say Notre Dame, you know, and in a year where they might actually go 8-4 or 9-3 instead of a year like last where they went 4-8. You say, oh, God, look at this performance against Troy or Temple like they're playing this week.
Right.
Boy, these guys are awful. I'm going to pick against them all year in the spread league. No, man, you got to pay attention to that kind of stuff.
You're absolutely right, you do. Hey, by the way, tomorrow, so when I'm in Atlanta, and guys, we'll have content for you tomorrow, but transparency here. I'm driving tomorrow morning to Atlanta to get set up, and we'll have our pregame for you on Saturday. And so we're looking forward to that. It begins at 5 o'clock, I do believe.
That's correct. 5 to 7.
5 to 7. So we're looking forward to that. I'm getting settled in up in Atlanta, and we'll bring you coverage. But so I leave tomorrow, but we wanted to make sure we had stuff. So we have interviews and we have some segments that we've done for you to have fresh content on the air tomorrow. But tomorrow night, there's football on. Once we get settled, once all of us are settled in on a Friday evening, Washington and Rutgers, I got Washington beating them like a drum even in my Redemption Thursday wagers from today, gang.
There again seems to be a team with incentive. After getting lambasted in the college football playoff, they might want to respond, make a quick statement to say, hey, remember us over here in the Pac-12 while you're talking about Darnold and Rosen every damn minute.
Well, what was weird with Washington was they played very good defense against Alabama last year. They just couldn't move the ball.
That was a time of possession wear down kind of
worn
issue.
out. Yeah, wasn't that 24-7 or something weird like that?
It was. I don't think they scored.
Washington?
If I recall correctly, and I could be wrong here, I believe both teams in the semifinals got shut out, the losers.
That'll hurt your feelings. But, yeah, so Friday night you do have a game, and you have two games, in fact. You have Wisconsin. You have two top 10 teams. You have Wisconsin and Utah State as well. I don't know that that's going to move the needle necessarily, but when you're starving for college football and they tell you there are a couple of games on, then you're all right.
You were dead right. I was dead wrong. 24-7.
The old memory still
serves.
Pretty good. That's pretty good indeed, and I'm not looking at it, so I'm proud of that one. Yeah. Well, they played. I just remember they played really good defense because I thought, that if they could have moved the ball at all, and they had that crucial turnover that cost them dearly, which is the Alabama MO, man.
Forgive me, Huskies fans. Apparently, you did score, unlike Urban Meyer and Ohio State. Forgive me.
Clemson, yeah.
Yes.
So, because we're not completely live tomorrow, I should just get it out of my system again today. We did Redemption Thursday. My wagers, if you're just tuning into the show late, and maybe you're going to go back and catch up later on this evening or tomorrow or whenever it is you listen, no, I did not change my pick. I picked Alabama, and I'm sticking with it. And I've got Alabama given 7 in Redemption Thursday wagers.
The daily confidence level.
4.5. It hasn't moved, and I don't think it's going to move. I just don't think we're going to be able to run the football against Alabama. It may not matter. Florida State could overcome that and win the game. If they win special teams and they play stout defense and we get it into a fourth quarter of a one-possession game, then obviously anything can happen. And Florida State could do enough at the quarterback position, dynamic receivers. If those guys make a couple big plays over the top, if you cash in your red zone opportunities, you make your field goals, they could win the game anyhow. But my biggest fear is when you go back and you look at Alabama, year in and year out, no matter what they graduate or who goes pro, they play a top 5 style rushing defense every year, statistically speaking or otherwise. They dominate. Nobody really lines up and runs the ball on them. They just don't. And the ones that do don't play like we play. And that's my other big concern. The other teams that have moved the ball against Alabama, like Deshaun Watson did in the fourth quarter last year, and like Ole Miss has, they don't run the offense that Florida State runs. They run a lot of plays. They'll run spread up tempo, and we don't really do that. So the last pro-style team, as I've said before, that beats Alabama was LSU, 9-6, didn't even score a touchdown. That doesn't mean Florida State won't score a touchdown because LSU hasn't had a quarterback in forever and a day. But it's frustrating to think that maybe the thing we could use to beat them, we don't really run. But, hey, Jimbo could surprise the hell out of us. And I do think, before I leave and set off for Atlanta tomorrow morning, I do think we're going to be in this game with opportunities. I just don't know that I can trust this offensive line. And as I've said before, with all of the talent that Florida State has on defense, 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you, Charles Kelly. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you. I need to see it.
It sounds like 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you for 2 coaches on that staff, not just one.
Yeah, but he's the main one. I mean, I'm going to go back to him. He's the main one.
So if the offensive line's bad again, who's,
Well, but here's the only thing. We got to be careful. There are going to be people who are incensed if this goes one of the ways I think it could go. There are a lot of scenarios before you see 2 teams play that you play out in your head. One of the scenarios is not a crazy leap in logic, and it's one that Florida State fans, if they're going to be honest with themselves, are very nervous about. And that is that this offensive line, with Derek Kelly starting at left tackle and Alec Eberle at center and young guys at the guard position and an average right tackle, gets overwhelmed by an Alabama defense that overwhelms a lot better lines than this one on a fairly regular basis. Nobody lines up and runs against that team. And the ones that do have Ezekiel Elliott and 4 pro offensive linemen at Ohio State and run an offense that we don't run, with a quarterback that was 250 pounds.
They haven't played a multiple offense. Now, we are pro-style in a lot of concepts, but we are multiple.
We are multiple. We are. But the ones that beat them oddly weren't all that multiple. They ran that thing, and they ran it really well. And so, I don't know. it would be great because it would be a feather in the cap of Jimbo Fisher to run this offense, primarily pro-style offense, and to line up and beat a team like Alabama with this offense. Listen, believe me, I want to come back on Monday. I want to turn on this mic and tell everybody how wrong I was and how I've never been happier to be that wrong. And, oh, by the way, we got a shot to win the national title because that's what I'm going to say if Florida State beats Alabama, period. You beat this team, given what we are with some of the deficiencies on this offensive line, it means they're a lot better than I'm giving them credit for. It means the left tackle's a lot better than I'm giving them credit for. It means the center's a lot better than I'm giving them credit for. It means that they've come an awful long way. And that will be exciting.
Did you just talk yourself into a 4.75 daily confidence level?
Yeah, I'm not at 5. 5 indicates 50-50. I don't think it's 50-50. I picked Bama -7.
Okay.
We're not. Hey, so I mean, we'll have an opportunity. You and I are actually about to record another segment when we turn off the mics here this evening to air for tomorrow. Maybe in that segment I'll have to ask you, but for the purposes of today's broadcast, where the hell's your confidence meter, pal? What do you think? I know I'm on the spot. I know my name's on the show. That's fine. But I'd like to know, since you kind of curried to the fans the other night.
Yeah.
So where are you at?
5.01. I feel okay. I feel okay in not knowing. I think it's a toss-up.
24.
And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing.
I think it's great, too. If you told me we got a 50-50 shot, and legitimately, after...
I think it's a 5.01. I think we have a clearer direction with what we have from experience-wise in Game 1 than Alabama does. They got a lot of unknowns.
Can I tell you that I like the team that no matter what happens, save for just an absolute ass-kicking? Like, the only thing that would make me waver in my thoughts right now, if Alabama wins 48-7 or puts a hurting on us like they did Southern Cal or something, obviously we're going to be a little bit shook, as they say. And that will be a different discussion. But short of that, I think Florida State's going to have a great year.
Yeah, you don't think the trenches are going to get obliterated, right?
No, I don't think they're going to get obliterated.
Okay, that's what would scare me. You know, if they're a turnover, fumble luck, you know what I mean?
No, you're
but
right.
If the trenches there are on every play.
There are ways to win this game and ways to lose this game that you could come back on Monday and say, man, we are loaded, ready to go. Let's go win this thing. And there are ways we could win the game and lose the game where we come back and go, well, Alabama's not nearly as good as I thought, and neither are we. Like, that could be really weird, right? We might have that, so that's why they play the games. But, anyhow, good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. To all those that called and or listened, surely do appreciate it. Enjoy the football tonight, kids.